Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very, very special day here. Evan, the used-to-be Beard, just turned 27 years old.
Are you 27, Ev?
Uh-huh.
Not quite.
Yeah, he's 26.
And
You're going to be 27.
A little older.
Well, for your
28.
gift.
He's 28.
Well, for
A little
your,
older.
well, for your gift, he was hard to get, but I kidnapped Bob Saget for you because I knew you were a huge fan of him on Full House and his comedy. So he's here.
But you're
Do I
two
get to keep
different
him?
things.
We kidnapped him.
Do I get to keep him?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
24
want-
hours.
I want to live with anybody that looks like Breckenmeyer. And to me, you're the guy.
I love Brecken.
I love Brecken. I hug him all the time.
Oh, that's so
But happy birthday to the Ev man.
Happy birthday,
the producer, the guy that works the magic.
Now,
or if the sound quality's messed up, he's also that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not here, where are you mostly? At the sperm bank?
because he's a beautiful,
I dabble.
symmetrical young man, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Well, no, I don't look at guys the way you do. And
no, I
you look
know.
at
Brian
their body,
appreciate-
and then
Yeah.
you zero in on their unit.
Oh,
do.
Brian, I got rejected from a sperm bank, actually.
Really?
Really?
True
Wait.
story. They won't take people under 5'10".
Strap for cash?
Yeah.
That's
old
not- that's
back in
not
the college
true.
times. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Back in college, I
Well, I
100%
wanna-
walked
I
into a
actually
sperm
got-
This
bank.
is timely. I wanted to say one thing before we start because we have the great Bob Saget. And they're contrary, when you see Bob in person, because I know a lot of you guys from TV think that he's short, poor, and mean. And in fact, he's tall, kind, and very wealthy. So let's get that out of the way first.
Okay.
I'm
The
glad
other
we
thing
covered
is, I
that.
make donations at sperm banks constantly, but I go right through the ATM. So you just go right up.
You come
and you
into
just-
the,
It's kind of
come
like the
into the
glory
slot.
hole.
in the porthole, and
Right.
you have. And the problem is, you can get snagged by that thing that rolls in your envelopes. And
Yes.
don't let that happen.
No.
'Cause your tip can be shredded.
Your tip can be shredded.
Yeah, and if the tip's
I
shredded,
feel
you
sick,
can't
Bob.
use it for nothing.
Well,
I feel sick,
Bob shoots heavy loads. That's the other thing we want
Pardon
to get
me?
into. What did I say?
What kind of show
happened?
is this?
I don't know.
Why do we got to start like
Well,
this?
he's the one who
Why can't we
started
just
it.
have a good time?
Am I at
Why you gotta
Fox
get
or
so
Vivid? What
dirty?
is this?
Saget
God.
every time. Saget will kill a room. This is the two things about Bob every time I see him. Bob will kill a room. Kill a room.
You mean
wanna
kill
talk
it
about
silence?
I'm talking about some of the best comedy in the world. Kills a room and gets off and goes, I don't know, I wasn't that good. And then I go, what?
That's why he's
what?
great.
You slayed the room. And then he goes, oh, look at you. You're in shape, huh? I'm not in shape. I got to get in shape. That's what you say to me every
Well,
time.
I'm going right from here back home. I have a Pilates machine. I have a Proformer, and I'm going to.
A Proformer? What is
What's
that?
it called? I don't know. What's it called?
I don't know.
Proactive.
It sounds really liberal. It sounds like a
it's
left-wing
it's the,
reformer?
It's like a
Pilates
reformer,
thing,
but
right?
it's the next level. So it's.
Yeah.
I think it's called a Proformer.
That's that new
It's a
age
thing you put.
workout
You know,
stuff.
it does abs when you don't really want to do them.
Go to YouTube.
Or just do
go
some
to,
crunchies, huh?
No, go to our YouTube channel and
I'd like
just
to hook
do
a
what
spring
Brendan
onto my
does.
wiener and just pull against the doorknob. And then I did that once. One of my teeth came out.
That's a strong spring, brother.
Well, and the meth doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
But
Now-
before Brian got here, and while we were talking, I was asking Keely and Evan. I said, "Are you too young for Full House?" Because most
Right.
people like Danny Tanner, all that stuff, and then Fuller House. Because on Netflix, it was a big deal. Even at 33, I was like, "Fuck, I can't wait for Fuller House." So it's their
Well, that makes
newest
you
thing.
especially Fruity Pebbles, you know.
I know, right?
No doubt.
yeah.
And I was on it in a
That's-
cardigan sweater, so I can't really criticize anybody.
That's the least of my worries. Fuller House. I claim ridiculous.
Well,
stuff.
Full
I
House
watch
never
bullshit.
went off the air. That's what's so amazing.
Because
about
it's
it.
repeats,
It-
right?
And it stayed on Nick at Night and ABC Family for 25, 30 years.
Now, did you see money for that? Because I know you're
No one
very
sees
wealthy.
that much money from syndication unless you're the owner of a show. That's just a fact.
The actors don't see much.
They see money, but not a bar bill. You know, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Not the amount of booze I drink. You
No,
know,
you
I'm
drink.
totally tanked right now.
Oh no, that's so
I had
embarrassing.
the tequila with the worm in it right
Bob.
before I came
Oh, I
here.
like
Bob,
Then
it's
the
so
worm
early.
sniggled out of my butt just a
Oh,
few minutes
no.
ago. And
Let
it's
me-
under the desk.
What?
Said
No
it toward
wonder.
me, yep.
That's a big
Were
worm.
you-
It's gonna crawl up your leg, and you'll be calling me every night. It's like a sensor device.
Were you hesitant to do Fuller House? Like, is there a party that goes, "I'm over that man"? That
No.
Danny
It's
Tanner.
just the opposite. In fact, because
couldn't
I
wait.
actually, well, no, it's not it at all. I've stayed close with everybody. I'll do a show that'll last 1 year. Like I did a show Surviving Suburbia. I did a show called Racing Dad. They only had 1 year runs, and I stayed close with all the people on it. And if you do 8 years with people like we did, I just don't believe in disingenuine relationships. If you like the people,
Yeah, they're family.
and these were kids, and they all grew up, and I've stayed close with everybody in the damn thing. And so it was not even a thought. And Stamos made it happen, and Jeff Franklin and Bob Boyette, the same guys, and Tom Miller, the same people that made the original series. and they stayed true to it. So it was a hoot. It wasn't like I'm not Spock, It wasn't denying that I'm going back to the bridge of the Enterprise.
Were you? I think like Brian said, a lot of people. I know I was, because you see Danny Tanner, Bob Saget playing this wholesome dad, like you're kind of everyone's dad. He's got, for our generation, he was our Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? Like
Bob
Saget. You could trust me.
Yeah, like you could literally trust him.
I get it, but I get all my filth done in my stand-up.
Exactly.
So I don't have to take you home and roofie you.
There you go. No, he's doing it there.
Bob is a filthy man.
I do bring a briefcase to my gigs though, just in case. But it all has toys in it. Nothing to knock you out.
But then when you see him do stand-up, it's like I didn't know he was that sort of comic, and I was like, oh shit,
I'm not that blue now. I think it's because I got older. Everything else has just gotten bluer, and a lot of people just. If you look at a lot of comics, everybody's favorite comics, the language, the content is. Mine's really 9-year-old filth. I mean, it's a lot, but I'm evolving too. Like I'm as my stand up is growing, and I want to do a new special soon. But I'm waiting until this election's over because it's too painful to do something. Well,
good God,
this is on.
Talk to me about your thoughts on this.
Well, it's painful. It's painful to see all the bullying and the name calling and how celebrity has risen. All anybody cares about is celebrity and fame.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with moving the earth forward.
No.
And that's what your leader of each country is supposed to try to do, rather than. And then we've got terror people. I'd like to give them a plug because that way they'll come after me. It's always good to mention them.
Well, you'd fight them off, but that.
Yeah, I fight them off. Good.
Our friend Joe Rogan was talking about that. I was listening to his podcast, and he said it's a very weird time where the amount of time that a lens is on your face is actually holds a great deal of weight.
It's everything.
It's almost like you can do anything, but if that lens is on your face, see, if you're loud, if it's about volume and ambition and just being loud, it's very difficult to turn away.
And that's the Donald Trump campaign, because he really figured out how media works. He always has known that. And I don't want a lens on my face because I'm straight, but if it's a macro,
wait, I don't understand the correlation there.
Oh, I was just saying a lens is like a big fat cock.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, sure.
I followed you there.
Right. Okay. When I go for an eye test, for example, that's what the doctor puts in my eyes.
I didn't know that. His cock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I cover one eye.
And then he swabs it. Then he swabs it and says you have chlamydia of the eye.
Yeah, and you can't get chlamydia from a penis, can you?
Yes, you can.
No.
If I had chlamydia and I poked you in the eye with it,
you can get pink eye.
You'd get chlamydia in your eye.
I actually went to Gladstone for fish, and it's on the menu. Chlamydia.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
There's a chlamydia. It's in a big bread basket.
Sure.
And it's got a cream sauce.
Sure. And as long as you ingest it orally, you won't get it.
I've never eaten anything orally.
I can't believe we just jumped from fucking
politics
the debate to that.
Well, it makes sense. But
yeah.
okay, so being on camera all the time, we are in a world where people are fame whores and worship it, and it has nothing to do with anything. Like if you talk to someone, you guys are both doing well in your careers. I've known Brian a really long time. Your career's taken off. Things are good. If a person's goal is to be famous, then they're never going to amount to anything.
No, they're never going to make it.
Or maybe they'll have a great life, but it'll be soulless, and maybe they'll be very wealthy, and maybe people listening right now are going, "I'll take that." There's nothing wrong with that. I had it. I mean, I had a choice to be out of work for a long time and not take the job on Full House and not be the host of America's Funniest Home Videos, but I wanted to be on Full House. I wanted to be a dad on a sitcom made by the guys that made Bosom Buddies, where I used to do the warm-up. I was the warm-up comic of Bosom Buddies.
Oh, yeah. Really?
That's how you got
with
the
Tom Hanks?
Well, Jeff Franklin also was a writer on Bosom Buddies, and I was also in a Richard Pryor movie, which is one of the coolest things I've ever done.
What movie?
Critical Condition, it was called. And I was a young doctor, and I had known Richard from the Comedy Store because I hosted the Comedy Store for like 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot of fun to do when you watch all your friends go off and
become famous.
Get on television, become famous, and you're just waiting.
Yeah.
And then no one calls you.
Yeah.
But Miss Runner-Up, in case something happens to these other 15 geniuses, no one still will call.
When you were hosting, what comics would we know that were?
It was Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, David Letterman.
Sam
Kinison.
Jesus
Well, I got
Christ.
Sam his first spot at the Comedy Store.
Sam
What?
I told Mitzi to watch Sam Kinison, and I met Sam and I loved Sam, a complex carbohydrate that he was. I met him in Houston, and he was kept out of a club there called the Comedy Works, and I was working at a place called the Laugh Stop, which is really not a good name for a club.
The Laugh
He's laugh
We're gonna
stop.
stop laughing.
So laugh stop.
But Sam had been persecuted, and they put him on the Houston Chronicle. There was a picture of him where he chained him. He was told not to come to the club anymore because he did offensive comedy that was religious oriented, and
Wasn't he a preacher? Or
he was a preacher, so he was denouncing a lot of things that he had been selling as a preacher, and so he was talking not ill of Jesus, but he was saying, like, people would say this in his stand-up. He would say people would say, "Oh, Jesus is going to come back," and Sam's response would be, "Oh, if I was Jesus, I couldn't wait to come back after the way they treated me last time. I can't wait." And,
It's a funny joke.
It was a funny joke,
This
and
is
then
in Texas?
this is in Texas.
There you go, yeah.
and Houston, which is metropolitan to a point. But Texas is on wheels and can secede from the Union at any time it wants. But Sam chained himself in a diaper and a thorn of crowns to a telephone pole in front of the Comedy Works.
Wow.
And then had blood coming from the crown of thorns, fake blood, and then had his eyes roll back in his head.
Oh, my God.
Allah, I'm crucified.
Wow.
And that was on the front page of the Arts and Leisure.
Holy.
And
I
you
said-
saw that, like, I love
I
this.
saw the picture and I said, I got to know this guy because he was going against. I mean, it was a club owner battle. It wasn't exactly like
Yeah.
going against the state, you know.
Yeah.
And
You're
and
not
then
fighting the man.
I just said, "You come out to LA and I'll do anything I can." And he didn't need my help because he was a loud mouse that roared. And I told Mitzi to watch him, and then Rodney was a friend of mine, Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield,
and,
yeah.
Jeez, man.
no, Rodney Allen
Legend.
Rippy.
That's amazing.
So just all those
Rodney
legends.
Carrington.
Oh, Rodney
Oh,
Carrington.
gotcha.
No, not Rodney Carrington.
But,
No,
but Rodney loved Sam and just went,
Rodney
man, this
Dangerfield.
guy, man, nobody's like this guy. Oh my God, have you seen him? Seen him? I got him his spot. You know,
Wow.
Damn, that's
So you
crazy.
were. So tell me about. So
I'm 120.
You're 120 years
you're a
old.
tortoise.
You look damn good.
Yeah.
He's got all his hair, no gray hair.
No gray. I
Every-
got the crown I color.
Every bit
I
of-
got a
you do?
yarmulke of gray that I color because if I don't color it, it's a gray yarmulke like a birthmark.
Right.
But if I don't color it, it looks balding from the back.
Yes.
And who doesn't want to be bald from the back?
Yes.
I mean, you do for sure.
sure do.
You are the most metro guy.
Yeah,
I would say you're borderline subjective. Every morning you wake up like a centaur. You pose in front of the mirror
And
and,
then
then
I-
decide what
well-
guy you want to look at pictures of on the
Yes,
web.
and I also dance.
true.
I dance and touch myself.
Yeah,
So
well,
it-
that's
yeah.
a song.
And the
isn't
rule
it?
is I can't move my feet. I have to just move my torso.
And you can do that. And
Yeah.
when I met you, you were doing one-arm push-ups on stage.
How long ago was
Probably
that?
was.
Oh God!
1967, I think. Long
No,
time
that
ago.
was when Columbus.
When he discovered America.
How long ago
Was
did I
Charlie
meet you?
Chaplin also
I
at
think
the store
I've
at this
probably
time?
known you.
I wish he was like Charlie Chaplin. Silence is golden.
I think I've
Brian
known
quiet
you.
is relaxing.
Very quiet. I've known
rare.
you. I've known
I
you.
thought I was here for a flu shot. I'm really confused. I'm in that flu shot configuration.
You
really
are.
are.
You're sitting in a flu shot chair.
Oh, I love that.
But
I can only
but
think of the drippings that have
the
been
blue
in this
the
chair.
blue matches your sense of humor. Now,
You guys met at the Comedy Store?
I think so. Or how
We
did
met
we
through
meet?
mutual friends
Yeah.
too.
Oh.
we have a lot of mutual.
You know who we met? Did we meet? We didn't meet through Roger
Gay
Schiffman.
bathhouse.
It was a gay bathhouse. It was Roger Schiffman. I remember you called me up and
I
said,
love
"Can you-"
Roger Schiffman,
Yep.
and I did ask you, but no, I know
No,
you.
we've known each
I've
other
known you
way
way
before
before
that.
that.
Yeah.
I knew you 8 years, 10 years before that.
Yeah, long time. I never remember.
Roger Schiffman is a man in Chicago who's a nice man.
So Bob, so you got your start in entertainment from doing comedy is your first passion, right?
I
And then
actually, it was
things
all
kinda
accident. It was accidental, all of it. I was
Explain.
going to go to pre-med at Temple University. I had a couple science classes in Philadelphia.
like a good Jewish boy, and mom told you you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer.
finish.
Well, I was a deli clerk during. I had no college life. I lived at home and worked in a deli. It was pretty sad. I
Okay.
was the Willie Loman of youth.
So you
And
went,
I-
so you went to Temple.
I went to Temple, and I went to. Then I changed majors because I couldn't. I mean, you can't get a D in biology. It's pretty sad, you know.
Yeah, you can't be my.
So I became a film major, and it was pretty cool. I learned a lot. I actually won a Student Academy Award, which is they flew me out. I met a lot of people. Met Spielberg. I met all these people, and they flew like 10 of us. I made a documentary about my nephew who had facial reconstructive surgery, and it was
Jeez.
called Through Adam's Eyes, and he narrated it.
Wow.
So it was a cool thing. I met a lot of people. John Lasseter had won the year before, so I met him. and Trey Parker had won one, and
Trey
Spike
Parker.
Lee and some cool people had won on them. And so I like to mention their names just to make myself sound like I'm someone.
Good
Put
company,
yourself in
man.
there.
Really good company.
So-
and then
so
I
you
wanted
win
to just
that.
do film. But since I was 17, I won a radio contest in Philly with WMMR. You ever been on WMMR
I
in Philly?
think, is that John DeBella?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
yeah,
John.
I love John too. I
Love
was just
John.
on his show recently.
Yeah.
And we talked about what a homophobe you are.
Yes, good. I'll spread that around.
And how you're
down
afraid
with
of-
the gays.
And how you think fleas and ticks spread all disease. That's all we talked about.
And I believe in leeching. Good,
yes,
good.
And having your veins
How you believe fleas and ticks spread all disease, and you're a homophobe.
And the way to keep yourself alive forever is to have all your veins removed and replaced with plastic.
Good, good. You're getting the truth out
At
there.
least
about me.
at least I stay on track. But
Yeah.
I won this radio contest singing a song about bondage.
Oh my God.
Which is a 17-year-old kid singing, bondage, good, clean fun, it's bondage for everyone. Masochists and sadists unite one and all. Bondage is the rage. Come on, let's have a ball. I was 17.
Great.
So Steven Starr, who is now a big restaurateur, he owns Budokan and Marimoto and all these cool restaurants. He was a club owner, and he booked me at 17. And then I was doing improv at
As
university.
a comic, he booked you just off that
As a
song.
comic. Off of that, and
You can tell. You can tell when somebody's funny.
Bob Dylan impression. I did it to be goofy,
Yeah.
And I was in a college group at Penn. Were you guys in a college group at all?
I was
Did
not.
You ever do
I did. I studied theater. He majored in football.
Team. Yeah.
football team? So but you guys just
It's a
snap
club.
towels.
It's kind of fraternity.
It's a club of
I did
balls.
plays in
Yeah,
college.
for
I did
real.
plays.
Ball
and
club
stuff.
for men.
Yeah, it really is.
Men. They lifted weights and played football. I did some plays, but then I decided to stop acting.
Musicals.
I talked myself out of it. I have done 2 musicals and 3 musicals, and I'm not a singer. I have no business being in a musical.
What musicals were they?
They were all originals, and I was asked to fill in on 2 occasions.
This is
and
in
the other
college,
one.
B?
This was one was in theater school at the neighborhood playhouse, where I did a musical variety show, and I had to
Wow.
sing, I think, 3 songs.
Did you juggle?
And I did not juggle,
you play
but
with
I
your
did
balls?
dance. I did dance.
I just wanted to mention playing with your balls.
Right?
I never played with my balls.
Did you have pins? Was your pin on fire?
No, but my grandfather, who was a salty Sicilian man from Brooklyn,
Now you know he was
saw
salty
me.
because you tasted him.
He was yes, and he covered himself in salt because that's how you keep disease away as well. That's how you
Old
keep
men
the
fresh,
fleas
yeah.
and the ticks away. See how I bring it
Fleas,
full circle?
ticks, and salt.
And he was in the
On your
audience,
grandfather.
and he said to me, he goes, I sang my songs. People laughed really hard because I knew I couldn't sing, so I was throwing a bunch of stuff in there. And he, after the thing, he said, listen to me. You're very funny. You got the most applause and the most laughs. You're a comedian. You're not a singer. Don't go down the song route. You're not a song dance man.
shit.
You're not going to make your living that way. But
Singing?
you are going to make your living as a comedian.
That's
and
That's
then
what
he said, "Now lick all this salt off my
And
penis."
That's what he said. And
But-
then,
but Bob,
that's
back-
right.
back
And he
to
said,
you.
I'm actually your father, he said. That's
Right?
when I learned he was my dad.
But Bob, so
I'm your
you
sister, mother.
started
Go with it. Go with it. Go with it.
So,
Come
so,
with us.
so you started doing stand up, and then how far down the road before the opportunity for Full House comes along?
That's 10 years, I guess. More than that. I mean, I was 30 when I got, or 29 when I got Full House. Before
only
that, I
29.
was on a show on CBS that got canceled.
But talk to us for a second about the 10 years when you were with Sam Kinison, David Letterman. I want to know about the store back
and
then.
Robin, beautiful
Robin
Robin.
Williams.
And,
Wow.
and,
You're talking about the fucking
yeah,
basically
the Mount
Rushmore of
yeah.
comedians.
Yeah, very much so.
What was Letterman like? Because I've never
Always
been.
funny, always nice,
Yeah.
kind of distant, but always kind to me. And I'd done his show a bunch of times. After years later,
Yeah.
I had done it a whole bunch of times.
Was he a doorman at the store? Or
No, he was an MC.
He was an MC.
He was always a dignified guy. He was a weatherman in Indiana, and he came out to L.A. and he never fancied himself like the funniest comedian. He always had that joke, that
To his credit.
Yeah, the toothpaste stuck in your sink. Those little pieces would make a lovely after dinner mint.
Yeah.
That was his. He said, "That's all I got is that one joke." But
Yeah, he never
I
made
looked
me
up
laugh
to him
much.
so much because he had he's David Letterman. He had a stage presence that when a person has it, you just can't.
I think you're right. He was
negate it,
dignified. I think dignified is the best way to put it. When he got caught, there was this rumor he knew it was going to come out that he was having an affair with this woman. And the way he said it, he said, there's this rumor that some terrible things would be said about me that I had been playing around behind my wife's back and something like that. And he said, and those rumors, as terrible as they are all true. So I just wanted to say that what you hear is probably the truth, and we'll just move on.
the way
And
to
he
nip
put
it
it
in
to
the bud.
bed. Yeah, he put it right to bed.
But back then,
He's a special man. I mean,
did all those guys did all you guys hang out? Like now, you go to the Comedy Store, there's Rogan, D'Elia, Brian. You just got the hit Mark Maron.
Yeah, it's very popular now. Again, like it was almost as popular as it was in '78 when I got there. It was insane. You couldn't get into any room ever, and it's kind of like that again a bit. And the Laugh Factory and the Improv comedy's kind of peaking again because the world is so fucked up that people really do need to laugh. And comedy does fairly well.
You're so right
But they
about
weren't
that.
the
The worse it is out there, the worse the economy, war. I feel like that. I swear to God, I feel like that's
The more
when comedy.
injustice, the more.
That's when comedy seems to just
Emerge?
Yeah, it's,
Well,
it's
that's
like
where
it's the soil that great comedy comes
That's
out
why
of.
I'm on tour. I mean, I have a new hour ready to go, a new special, but I'm not doing it until.
That's smart.
And I'm on tour now, but I'm not doing it till the election's over because
so smart.
it's just so painful. Because it's all I can't. You were in a cage in your underwear. You did that. You fought people, but that's a sport.
Yes.
That is. But using it as a mentality for who's going to be your world leader is not a sport. It's incorrect behavior.
But what's smart?
We're not
good.
watching wrestling.
What's smart on your part by not releasing your special right now is, but because the debates are so big and Trump's basically taking over all the media, all the ratings are down for NFL, MLB, everything, TV. Like right now, the ratings are down.
I know some comedy has been doing well. I mean,
comedy always does well. I mean, especially if it's good comedy. Especially right now, Rogan says we're in the golden age of comedy. Especially in LA, when you look at Kevin Hart, Bill Burr, Louis C.K. You just have
it's
these
beautiful
killers right now.
Yeah.
But your point about
rock stars again.
Yeah.
Rock
I mean, Kevin Hart's a legit.
Kevin Hart's an anomaly. I mean, he goes out,
star.
he sells out 30,000 seats.
He's amazing.
And
His new special's in a theater, and it's mixed with his special with a movie.
I know.
Called What Now?
And Halle Berry's in it. I mean, my God, I would do a 40-minute set to do a scene with her.
Oh,
He's
me too.
amazing.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Kevin Hart's amazing.
But back then,
but let's go.
Let's all talk about what we would do to Halle Berry. That'll be nice.
yeah, but the listeners will love that.
But you're saying,
Brian goes like, I wonder if her husband's going to go.
all day, baby.
all day with you, all day. That's what I say to Halle Berry. That's how I catcall chicks.
Well, and it sounds like it's a thing you guys say often, and obviously it doesn't put women off at all. It's a
No.
very
No,
they
dignified
love
way
that.
to.
How when you
Yes.
stick your head out the window and go all day with you, all day with that ass.
Especially in a Prius, me and Brian, all day.
Yeah, and
All fucking day.
Roll up, get in my fucking hybrid anytime you want, baby. My back seat's yours. All fucking day. I'm friends with Bob Saget. That's what I do.
Please don't drop my name during
No?
that.
Okay,
but
I don't know.
in the 40s, it was just wolf calls. It was construction workers, right?
How weird is that? How weird is that? Does any? Well, I want to know who decided. I've never done it in my life. I want to know the first guy to do that and actually think it's gonna. It's never worked.
Oh my
the
God.
one girl was like, "Whoa, did you just make comment on my ass? I'm down."
I mean, it's
what do you want to do?
Like, yo, baby. I mean, what is that? But
Does
you know
it
what?
ever work?
It does in a movie sometimes. You'll watch a movie, you'll see a guy on the street in a Martin Scorsese film, and he goes, hey, come on, let's just talk to me for a few minutes. Come on, let's just talk.
Let's talk.
I
I've
mean,
done that on the
Rocky.
street.
How did Rocky go after Adrian? How did he? I think he walked. Why won't you go out with me? I mean, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
But Louis in like a neighborhood. They're like neighbors. Like, come on, one date. One date.
Yeah,
but the
he
cat
wasn't.
calling like, come on, suck my dick. What's the big deal?
Yeah,
I got
7
something
minutes.
right here.
7 minutes, baby.
That's all I asked. 7 minutes.
I think that's almost like just a
Dice
way
could
of.
do 2 hours on this.
What's sick?
Yes.
What's sick is that if
Right
if
now.
a group of women drove by and did that to me, I'd probably get in the car. You know
Of
what I mean?
course you would.
Hey, Brian. Ooh, yeah, I like your comedy. Ooh, look at that
But
49-year-old
then
ass.
you'd get in the car and you'd find out they weren't women, and that would be your dream.
Dicks with
Then it
wigs. Dicks with wigs.
Dicks
Dicks
are
with
us.
wigs. Dicks with wigs.
Bob, I know we keep trying to get through this.
Oh, so
but-
comedy.
Yes.
Back to comedy.
But in the
it's a bad. I'm on tour right now. I've got a gig this Saturday at the Balboa Theater
San
in
Diego.
San Diego.
Balboa Theater, San Diego.
If you go to my website, which is called briancallen.com, but if you go to it, it tells you where I'm on tour. I'm doing a bunch of theaters.
BobSaget.com.
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah. And
Are you on social media too?
Saget.
Are you on social media too? Twitter, Instagram. All
Oh
that?
yeah, the whole deal. It's all me, just
At
my
Bob
name.
Saget.
Yeah, and
That's
people
where they
misspell
find
my
it.
name a lot. It's so funny when someone like you're doing some like important thing. Like I roasted James Carville at the Kennedy Center. It was a big thing. It was like 3,500 people. It was really cool people were on the dais, and you get one memo and they spell your name wrong. It's Sagat. I'm like,
Nothing
no,
worse.
no, it's an ET.
It will ruin my day. If we're
spell
on the
your name
Fox
wrong,
lot
right?
and it's it has your room, like your change room or your whatever, and there's a star and it says Brendan Schaub, but they forget like a U or an A. I will literally be like, God,
I hate when they
damn.
call you Brandon. I'm like, for me, it's like nails on a. I'm like, don't call him Brandon. It's Brendan. God damn it.
Yeah, that is weird that people do that. But then again, they're just people.
Also, don't be called Brendan. Of course, don't name yourself Brendan.
Well,
because everybody's going to call you Brandon.
Find out who did it and then just misdo their name.
Yeah,
True.
or strike
and
them.
misdo is not even an expression.
I was going to say misdo isn't really.
Misdo is a competition that no one wins.
Misdo is
It's the woman that has the softest stool. It's called Misdo.
the softest
And
stool.
The softest stool, brought to you by Procter &
How do
Gamble.
you? And this is my soft stick.
Right, Bob? Was there a time being around all those famous comedians when they were coming? Just you got basically a pack of wolves, just the who's who. Was there a time when you realized you could hang with those guys and make it? Like,
Well,
when did you realize you could make a living doing?
Well,
this?
I was emceeing, so I was meeting everybody, and I was at the Westwood Comedy Store for a long time, which is where Kennison was a lot, and then I was at came into the original room at the Comedy Store, which is the smaller of the medium-sized room.
That's right.
And then
where Jim Carrey spent a lot of time.
Yeah, with Jim I met when I played in Yuck Yucks in Toronto when he was 17. He opened for me.
God damn.
So he was doing. I'm 110, and so he was doing Henry Fonda in Golden Pond. He would do
How
James
talented is he?
Dean. He's so talented that when he would do an impression, his face literally was rubber,
Dude.
and it became the person.
One of the greats. One of the
But it
fucking
was
greats.
super amazing.
But do you remember when it was
talent,
uncool to like him?
A good man, also.
Do you remember when it was uncool to like him? When I was doing Mad TV and the sketch world, hey, fuck comics, all of us, especially like sketch. I'm doing Mad TV, and I remember when Jim Carrey did
In Living Color?
Ace. Well, first of all, in Living Color, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And second of all, in Ace Ventura, I don't give a shit what anybody says. If you watch what he's doing in that movie, to me,
What do you mean? What anyone says? It's one of the biggest movies of all time.
Oh yeah, you would think. Except for in the comedy world, it became super cool to think he was, vulgar, over the top, not cool. Jim Carrey to
the most famous
sketch me,
guy.
and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Well,
he's so amazing, it's
people
ridiculous.
just don't know anything.
It's jealousy.
The truth of
That's
it
what
is-
it is.
Jealousy and
but
bullshit.
that performance in a small movie, I think Steve Odekirk wrote it. I think.
Did he?
I think so. I know
Okay.
he did two, and Steve's an old friend. I love
Two's almost
Steve
better
Odekirk.
than one.
But when someone explodes off the screen like that, you might not like what they do if it's over the top, but it became part of our vernacular till this day.
Oh, I
the
use
stuff
it
he did.
all the
Just
time.
take
He
a
was
look,
incredible.
and then go look at. I mean, I was there when Eddie Murphy was working out Raw at the Comedy Store.
Jesus.
I
So
saw
one
that
week-
live.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I saw him before he shot it. So he came out in a red leather suit one night on a Friday at the Comedy Store in the main room. And it did, standing ovation when he starts, and then amazing, and then really good. And then a week later comes in an all blue leather suit and figured out in 1 week what to do to make that explode through the roof. And the walls rumbled. I'm talking the building shook.
He killed.
At how because that talent like that, when you saw 48 Hours the first, you went like, who the fuck is this guy?
Oh my God.
And he wanted to say he's the Beatles of comedy. Well, he's right,
Yep.
And then there's other people that I worship, which is Steve Martin and Woody and all the people that we all watch. But I got to spend time with Richard and become friends with Richard Pryor, who to me is probably one of the best stand-ups that will ever live.
There's no question. But Bob, all those guys, with the exception of Richard Pryor, that you mentioned, stopped doing stand-up, and they stopped doing stand-up, I think, in their 30s, which is like
But
Eddie
then
Murphy.
Steve Martin explains it.
Yeah.
he
Why
does.
in his
Yeah,
book,
he does in his
Born
book,
Standing
yeah.
Up.
Such a good
But
book.
But it is.
He also talked about. I don't mean. He also talked about Eddie Murphy in that, where he says he's in New York and he's doing a spot and all the comedians are hanging around, and he said this 16 or 17-year-old gets up. He's a young black guy and he's only supposed to be up there for 15 minutes. He's up there for 60 minutes. And he acknowledged, he goes, you give a black man a mic, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. But he tears the room down. Some guy goes, come on, get off the stage. And he's like, you're just mad because my dick's bigger than yours and I'm black. And he goes, and that 16 or 17-year-old was Eddie Murphy. Like, they're like,
By the time he was 19.
I'd use that same joke, by the way.
and it worked.
By the time he was 19, we were all talking about him in the country. I mean, I
were you
remember
gonna
it
say
very
about-
well.
Well, it's unbelievable.
What were you going to say about Steve Martin before I went off on his book?
Well, I just loved his. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was brilliant. He was. What I love about what he did was it was just silly, and it was. I mean, his talent is vast.
Yeah,
His
then he writes Parenthood.
Physical ability is amazing, and he just brought joy to people.
He talks about
he
why
didn't
he
do
stopped.
anything that bothered. Yeah, he does talk about it. It was the Friday night second show. He says
He would have a guitar, like a ukulele, come down,
Yeah.
and it didn't come down 2 or 3 times, and people would laugh like it's part of the bit. Or he'd be walking down the street and he'd say hi, and people would start laughing, like, you know what, man, like this isn't what I signed up for. Like, it's not comedy anymore.
Well, he probably
he has
reached
been-
the apex. He got to the top of the mountain. Probably didn't
and
like the
also
view.
he was selling out, big arenas. But he also he would have had to write a whole new hour, and also his film career took off, and so it wasn't a hard choice for him.
That's all encompassing too.
But but most of the comics that you mentioned, we were like, all of them stopped. I think because they're huge. All those guys you list are huge movie stars.
Oh, yeah.
Huge movie
Yeah.
stars.
Huge, making crazy money. I just have
But
always.
most of
been
them never go
surprised.
back to it, right?
Right, and
like Eddie Murphy, he doesn't go back to it. Adam Sandler doesn't. Jim Carrey never does.
But
Like,
they were so good. Like Adams. Like
I don't know. Adam's been out. Adam's been out touring with a bunch of guys.
a little
with a bunch
bit,
of
Really?
friends.
little bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
Steve has been doing that his bluegrass
With Martin
country
Short?
band. Oh, he has been, and Steve's with his band, and then Martin Short is obviously super talented and hilarious.
ridiculous.
They've
He
been
used to.
doing it.
His brother wrote on Mad TV, and so Martin used to hang out
Right.
and watch us do sketches.
Yeah.
And I'd be doing my sketch on Mad TV, and Martin Short's right there, and I was always like, "This is very awkward. I hope I'm kind of good here." It's just so nerve wracking.
but yeah, so Martin and Steve are.
And Steve does, at his shows, whatever it is, an hour show, an hour and a half show, when he goes out with his bluegrass, which is an amazing show. But he is being funny for 10 minutes in between. So it is like 10 minutes
Oh, really?
stand-up
Okay.
is happening. When
Yeah,
you go see
and
it.
those sell out. Like, I tried getting tickets to the one in Santa Barbara, sold out.
Well, he's an anomaly. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just a beautiful.
Look at Woody Allen. Woody Allen was
Woody Allen. I actually just watched Manhattan with my girlfriend the other night because I wanted her to know that there are women I could date older than 17. And,
Yeah.
and
A masterpiece.
It
You know-
it is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's
it is
a
a perfect
masterpiece.
movie, and it's inspiring.
A lot of filmmakers say that Woody Allen, and a lot of filmmakers say that maybe the greatest filmmaker, maybe the greatest
Most
auteur
prolific.
is if you look at what he was able to
Body
do
of
in
work.
all the different genres. So he was able to do incredible movies in slapstick, Bananas, Midsummer Night's Sex Comedy,
serious drama.
Take the Money and Run, and then he goes into Crimes and Misdemeanors, Hannah and Her Sisters. This guy spanned every genre of movie, not just comedy, but every genre of movie for a period of about 15 years before he went crazy. 15 years. And
How
was
do you define crazy?
Yeah, he went crazy?
Well, I'll
Sleeping
explain.
with your stepchild?
I'll explain.
He's
yeah,
not normal
yeah,
anymore?
Yeah, I'll explain what I mean. But
Is there any proof of that?
no, yes, but besides that, he was so prodigiously talented, great
so glad I
comic,
don't
great
have a
stand-up comic,
stepchild.
great stand-up comic, and then hits every genre and is winning Academy Awards.
No, he's great,
and
for sure.
One of the greatest filmmakers, but filmmakers talk about him being like nobody's ever done what he's done. And then
Well,
he
he
makes
stars in it. He acts in it.
stars in it, acts in it, and then he makes a movie a
But
year
if I
and
just said the
doesn't
same
watch
thing,
him.
though. You shouldn't have repeated it. Stars in an accident is the same thing.
Yeah.
Stars
Does
and
craft
acts.
service. He writes it, is what
He
I
writes
meant to
it.
say.
Yeah.
He directs it, writes it, and stars in it.
But there's some guys who stick with, no matter how famous they get, they stick with stand-up. You got a guy like Seinfeld. He never stopped.
Jerry
Jay
wants
Leno
to
did-
do stand-up.
Yeah. He's not an actor,
And
he's
I
a
think
stand-up.
Louis will always do stand-up. I mean, there's certain people.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a man crush on Bill Burr, who's a friend of mine.
Love Bill.
You know, he's just such a solid. And he's speaking from his gut, and he's saying, and it's all connected.
Yeah.
And my stand-up, for the reason I'm doing it. And the reason, well, one thing is people want to see it, which is always good when a lot of people come. But I feel like I have responsibility. I mean, and I have 40 years of chops of doing it, and I just love doing it.
So
I
do I.
love it, and I don't like the road. So I'll do I had 5 days I was on the road with Mike Young. You know, Mike.
I love Mike.
He says hi.
Good Mike.
I love.
Does Mike open for you?
Mike opens for me a lot. We go on the
fucking
road.
love
We
him.
wrote something together too, which we're excited about. It's a letter to Santa. But
I love it.
right. But Mike will be
I love
opening.
Mike Young.
Mike will be at the Balboa Theater on Saturday.
Go see these
There's a
guys.
lot of gigs I'm doing. I think Mike's coming on.
So you don't. So you don't like to be on the road. You just don't like being
Hate
away
it,
from home.
hate it. And
I
I'm a
agree.
bitch, so I'm like a 5-star bitch. So I'll
too.
just,
Hate
there's no hotel that is, I can't go there. Or
Yeah.
it's 2 planes. Nah,
Yep, I'm the same way.
I got a real problem. I can't sit
2
next
planes is
to-
a clincher for me. I can't do it.
I'm not going to get the Zika virus sitting next to somebody. I'm just not going to get it because then by the time I get on stage, my head is shrunken.
Yes.
And then I'm
Yes.
talking like a teeny little voice. It's horrible. That's a terrible disease. It shouldn't be.
But it's pretty
Right.
funny if an adult gets it.
It is if they live. If they're
If
like
they live.
Beetlejuice, so they got their tiny little tennis ball head.
But then
their
you'd be
voice
even
is high
funnier.
like that.
You'd
Hi,
be even funnier.
hi, everybody. So I'm
What happened to Bob? He
my
got Zika.
ex-wife doesn't call me anymore. Same material, you know.
Same
I
material.
have 3 daughters. I love them so much.
Those damn mosquitoes. That's the thing about mosquitoes in Brazil.
Yeah, and and Brazil, by the way, had a bad rap this year. I mean, their water is made of pus.
Yeah.
The Olympics didn't
What a
help.
fucking disaster that was.
Oh my God,
Olympics
that
made it worse.
Zika bug is there.
There are also videos of people getting robbed. There's all these videos.
And not
That's
only
every
that,
day,
but I
though.
hear their waxing's not going that good either. They've been
No.
using
Brazilian- even the
duct
Brazilian
tape.
waxing?
Brazilian waxing
Oh,
is
man.
having a
They had to resort to duct tape after that water incident.
But did you?
Hey, get in this water. It's green.
Get in this water. It's fucking green. Isn't that incredible? It was green water and they couldn't actually explain it. They were like, well, it's a buildup of algae.
But
Our guys
days,
had to swim in it.
Yeah.
but 2 days later, they dyed the water. It was all of a sudden blue.
Yeah.
So we were watching just magic.
Unbelievable. Totally.
That
We're lucky to
Olympics
live here.
was, I don't know.
What's your favorite event in the Olympics?
I like when a 4'11" girl tumbles over and over and lands flat on her neck, and then has to get up again and do it again.
Yeah.
That's ruthless.
It's like I want to marry that girl
Yeah.
because if
ruthless.
she can do that, imagine what kind of things she could do in a king size bed.
I was going to
That's
say.
interesting.
With a guy
Yeah.
who's 6'3".
Triple flip, put a couple rings in over
Let's
the bed.
let's do some
into that?
current events with Evan the Cub.
Hey, man, he was getting into his
The Olympics.
gymnastics.
You guys still want to stick with the Olympics?
That was the-
Those ended about 6 weeks ago, fellas.
just
no,
go
that
with
was
us.
my
Go with
sports
it.
input.
It was his sports input.
I like kickball and keep away.
Are you a sports
I
fan?
wish.
Do you watch sports?
I think Red Rover should be a national.
I was gonna
pastime.
You know you can't do that in school anymore
Why?
because kids get hurt. They say it's too aggressive.
Red Rover, let
Send-
Jimmy come over.
Yeah,
Huh?
hold up.
Our classrooms are feminized. It's all we're living in a feminist fantasy. Thanks a lot, women's movement.
There's no
for fucking-
dodgeball?
for
There's
letting
no
my son.
tag?
My son can't
No
be a boy.
dodgeball, but
There's no
there's a whole
dodgeball.
movie about
Bullshit.
it.
My son can't be a fucking boy anymore. It kills me.
You just gotta get them in the right school.
I don't know if there is a right school
I like
nowadays.
foosball. You ever play that? It's a lot of fun.
Do you play? Do you
Foosball
watch
was
sports?
fun.
Are you a sports watcher?
Once in a while, if it's a big game.
The answer is no. Then.
The answer is serious no.
Yeah.
And you were born raised in Philly.
No, I was born in Philly, but then I moved to Norfolk, Virginia, which had no discernible team except the Navy. And then I went to Encino, California, just to learn about materialism and what Judaism was. And then at 11th grade, I moved back to Philadelphia. So I really had no childhood whatsoever.
But Philly is a sports
Insane.
town.
In fact, when the Flyers won, which was, I don't know if you're a hockey fan, but it was Bobby Clark and Bertie Parent and all these guys, and they had no teeth, and they beat the shit out of people. It was the Broad Street Bullies. I was there when they won, so the town went riotously
Philly's
happy. It
nuts.
was wonderful. It was insane. I'd never seen anything like it, and I haven't seen anything like it since. Where anybody was that they're like Boston. They are real serious.
Oh,
about
the
it.
Pittsburgh's
New
pretty
York,
bad.
Boston, Pittsburgh, Philly. They fucking
And it's fun,
love their
but I
sports.
it's so
It's too
funny.
serious.
I'll
Too
be
serious.
performing I did a theater last week, and I'll mention it, another city. Just say Houston. And they go, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
The world is so fucked up right now. Why do you have to hate another place?
It's nationalism.
There's nice people
Because
in the
of a sports
place.
team.
Dude, they told me not to make fun of the Pittsburgh Steelers when I was doing stand-up at the Improv there. And I was like,
In Pittsburgh?
you can't tell me that. Of course I'm going to make fun of them now. It was unbelievable. They were like, no, seriously,
They used to be
don't
my
do
favorite team years ago.
it. Steelers?
Yeah. Green Bay Packers were my favorite team as a kid,
Yeah, my dad's favorite. He's from Wisconsin.
My dad was in the meat business, so we liked the Green Bay Meat Packers. They were really good. You get Cryovacs.
Was your dad in the meat business?
Yeah, he was with Food Fair Pantry Pride Supermarkets who went bankrupt. And he
Unbelievable.
was the head of meat. He was one of the heads of meat.
He was the heads of meat.
Head meat
Meathead.
guy. Meathead. Original
He could do
meathead.
anything. We had a sausage grinder in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, it's an antique. Keep it in your bedroom. That's what I'm going to put my dick in it. I mean, it was a sausage grinder.
A sausage
What
grinder.
was it doing there in my bedroom? What kind of life did I have?
But they must have been proud of you when they saw you start to.
Yeah, and they were around for a lot of it. I would put them on America's Funniest Home Videos when I was hosting. My dad got 2 minutes of airtime on ABC.
No. Really?
Prime time.
Really?
Came out. Yeah, the show was in the top 10. My dad came out and said, people have to love each other. That's what's wrong with the world. And he gave a speech. He got on a soapbox.
Damn.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
You
he
set that up?
Yeah, I wrote the whole thing, and then he said, I don't need a script. I'm just going to talk.
Wow, that's
My
great.
dad could have been a comedian. But instead he just played with his meat.
Yeah, but he was a funny man.
Very funny.
But had to
Very
earn a
good
living.
man. And he died 10 years ago, and then my mother died 2 years ago because she wanted to make sure he was gone for a while so she could erase all the porn on the computer.
It took that long, huh?
I remember when I said
my
to Bob,
God.
I text Bob, I said, hey, man, how you doing? Or something, and come on the show. And you said, I would, but my mom just died. I go, I'm so sorry. He goes, yeah, thanks, life.
So
She was
perfect
cool. I'm
text.
actually talking about death a lot because I've
Thanks,
lost so
life.
many people. in
You
my
have
life.
lost- you've
I've
lost-
lost more people than most people.
You've lost two sisters
Two sisters.
at very young ages
And a bird.
and a bird.
And my mother and my father, and I'm actually talking about death a bit in the good way, in the way that if you can find humor in that, then you're accomplishing something as an artist.
Yeah.
I was
That's
gonna
heavy.
say, do you think that? Did you talk about? Because I don't think a lot of your stand-up was about the loss of your sisters. Maybe that was just too much.
No, I don't talk about it. I do these benefits, and I'm going to beg you to do one, but it's
Anytime.
I do. We have scleroderma is one of my sisters died from at 47,
Terrible
and then
disease.
34. Another sister I had that I loved more than the other one. She
I
died
loved
of
her
a
more.
brain aneurysm. She
Jeez,
was
man.
Andy, but my sister Gay.
These were your younger sisters, man.
They're older sisters, both
Oh,
older.
okay.
One 6 years older, one 10 years older. So I was the baby and the only child for a long time after all
Yikes.
that, whatever that is. People go, you're an only child now. I was like, get the fuck out of my shiva.
Thanks a lot.
You're ruining my deli
Just
meat.
trying to watch you cry.
But scleroderma, I'm on the board of the Scleroderma Research Foundation, and a lot of people have it, and we've raised $40 million in
damn.
25
What
years.
exactly is it?
It is a hardening of the skin. It is
the worst
where your
disease.
internal organs can harden, and you eventually can die of pulmonary hypertension, is when your lungs fail.
Remember
but
Lucian
a lot of
Holt?
people can live through it, and there are brand new. We're really making
There's new
progress.
medication stuff. The
There's
vaccines.
so
and
much
stuff?
new stuff. Actilion's one of our big sponsors.
Are you born with it? How do you?
Some people just get it, and they're not sure if it's environmental. It's a vascular disease, so it's blood, but it's also autoimmune. It incarnates with cancer sometimes. It's just crazy.
So it's
crazy
a
thing.
suffering
It's an
too.
awful
It's not a
disease.
quick
It-
procedure.
if you've got a problem,
terrible.
it can be, and it affects mostly women, and it affects a huge amount of African American. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying that. Black people,
Yeah.
a large percentage, because there's African Canadian. What's the proper thing to say?
I don't
around
know
the world?
anymore. I don't know.
I don't know
can't.
either.
But there's a huge percentage of black humans that are 60%. They're saying are
60%.
that's what they're saying, and these statistics I'm making up right now.
Of scleroderma cases.
You learned it
Of
from a TED Talk.
scleroderma cases,
Yeah.
and we are helping people with Johns Hopkins and Stanford.
Jeez, man, that's
but I'm
insane.
doing. Robin Williams did the benefit 7 times.
Did he really?
Robin
What a
Williams
great
did
guy
the-
he was.
did
Tell
the-
me about him.
he
You knew
couldn't-
him pretty
He
well.
couldn't say no. He would come to the benefit. What do you need, Chief? What can I do for you, Chief?
Well, he was always hilarious. I remember watching him back in the 70s, improvising and just being such a beast.
He was a force. He was a force.
He was a force.
And when you think about Robin Williams, in the many different things you've seen and all the stand-up that he did. And he would get on stage. God help you if you're on stage doing improv with him. He somehow would find a way to move a foot in front of you or a foot behind you. But you couldn't take your eyes off him. But playing with him was the most fun.
And did you?
I did sometimes, yes. Most of the time, it would be like if I'm on stage with him, we ended up just dry humping each other and then doing a couple of Fruity Pebbles kind of lines and then move on.
Yeah.
And then let him take over because that's what he is. I mean, he was, but...
Did you know he was
think,
depressed?
Well, I always knew that he had a lot of devils. I mean, we all do. I mean, you do, I do.
Yeah.
But not to the level of that. He had an accelerated mind, obviously. And he would always say it. He would always, make the voices stop and all that normal stuff that we all say. And he would be moving a mile a minute. But what happened at the end is about as tragic as it gets, and you don't wish that on a friend or on anyone, except 3 people I can think of in the news right now. but he was beautiful, and he gave and he was just full of love. So talented. And it's very tragic, and his loss will always be remembered. If he had never done stand-up, if we'd never seen him do stand-up and just seen him in Dead Poet Society, Mrs. Doubtfire, La Cage aux Folles, his name,
what an actor that motherfucker was.
What an actor he was.
What an actor.
Well, I remember when 9/11 happened, Fox Television was the only network that didn't run the footage. So everybody was running all the footage 24 hours a day.
Nonstop.
And that's what the media does. And it ingrains in you even more than it already has. Images you'll never get rid of in your mind. And they ran Mrs. Doubtfire. And that is what I'm looking at philosophically, is where we're at now, where comedy is so powerful. I was so thankful. I almost wanted to write a letter to the president of Fox, just going, "Thank you. You ran Mrs. Doubtfire on the night that the world felt like it ended." And we have, as we all know, we've not even seen what's going to happen to this world, both through what mankind's doing and through what the natural environment is doing.
Climate change.
And that's all real, and it's not fake.
No, I think we're going to all have to get ourselves a house on top of a mountain with a well
helmet.
And a helmet with a well.
And a really hot girl to take care of you all day long.
You're goddamn right, because I'll
Sounds like
be
a
older.
good life, fellas.
Let's go to some current events, for God's sake.
Yeah,
before
do it.
It's Evan's birthday.
Have I talked too much?
No,
You've been a disaster.
Yeah, you're actually a little too quiet.
You've been the worst guest so far.
We might not even air this.
We're not going to air this. You've embarrassed me, yourself, and my country.
This goes out somewhere? I thought we were just talking.
Yeah, it's just combo.
Okay, now here we go.
All right.
Have you seen
First
this
current event that we
No,
got
I
to
didn't.
talk about. Tim Tebow's first at-bat. Not only his first at-bat, the first pitch that he's seen at a professional level, jacked a home run.
Hits a home run.
Just jacks one to the moon.
So SportsCenter put Tim Tebow's first at bat, ladies and gentlemen, and he jacks this home run. And there's the video there. And I reposted and I said, "You guys still think it's all a joke? Any questions?"
Now, Beat, explain to us from a baseball point of view. He's in the Triple A league.
Yeah, he's in the
So he gets car service?
Yeah, he's in the minors. He's in the minor league. But everyone starts here. But for him to even, it's hard for people to even hit a ball at this level, let alone your first at bat.
This is professional baseball, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not the major leagues,
Right.
but it's still professional baseball.
Do you know what the
was
percentage
pitching?
of AAA guys go to major leagues?
Well, statistically, Major League Baseball is the hardest sport to turn professionally in.
Okay.
It's very tough. But this is his first at bat ever, and he jacks a home run.
That's pretty impressive.
So for all those people that are like, I think it's a gimmick. There's a few things you can't fake: comedy, fighting, and hitting fucking home runs in professional baseball.
Goddamn.
And
right,
how
right.
bad the quality of that video is. That is
That's
just the
also
worst.
true.
I mean, I look at a convict shot it behind the
Well,
chain link fence.
that's a bad camera phone, probably.
Yeah,
Now, who pitched that to him? That
a
guy
professional
must feel like
professional
shit.
pitcher. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean.
He's an athlete. I mean,
But
he's a
we knew he's an
special
athlete,
motherfucker.
but it's just like I told you guys. Has been his goal since I've known him. He's always wanted to play professional baseball. It's one of his dreams, and he has the athleticism to do it. And when I post it, and I see some of the comments like, "How is this any different than CM Punk? It's not even the major leagues." Now, if you're a guy that goes, how's this any different than CM Punk? I need you, if you're at your
Brendan
office.
just moved his coffee cup.
If you're at your office, I need you to go over to the guy next to you and go,
skills.
excuse me, sir, can you put your fist on the table so I can ram my face on it? One of them is an athlete, one is not. There's no comparison.
Correct.
God damn it. It makes me worry for human mankind when people think, oh, CM Punk, Tim Tebow, same thing.
Yeah, don't say
God
those.
damn
Not in the
it.
same sentence, please. Not in the same
Fuck.
sentence.
It says, God damn it, right there.
right there.
Boom, there you go. Tim would not approve that message.
No, he would not. No, he would.
What else you got?
Is he a fairly religious man?
Very, very religious,
Yeah.
yes.
Jesus.
When I meet him, I will not say that word.
Yes, Jesus.
God damn it, it's good
I've made
to
some
meet you.
mistakes when I'm saying stuff like that.
God damn it, it's good to meet you.
Elon Musk, I know about this.
Yep.
What is
I'm
it?
not
Elon
Elon Musk's game plan is to colonize Mars, and he's somehow gonna get that done for only $200,000 a ticket.
Now that's
Sounds
the
like a
thing.
good deal.
Okay, so I was talking one time to Richard Branson. I was on the Today Show. He was there.
That's cool.
He said, "Get in the plane. You go out of the Earth's orbit. We'll take you out into space a little bit." And that was his big thing. $250,000.
Lance Bass signed up
So
for
this is
that.
a deal. Elon's offering $250,000 less. And then I talked to a couple people that said, "Don't do that. Don't go up into space.
Not
He
yet.
just takes you for a flip around, and you're wasting your money."
Right.
This is frickin' Mars.
He's
And
such
he's
an
also-
ambitious guy. He's amazing.
I don't want to be the first group to try it
No,
out,
sir. No, sir.
Hey, I saw Matt Damon. He didn't seem to do too well there. I mean,
No, he didn't.
No,
true.
it's
And
not
he was
crops,
really there.
Can't go crops.
And he was. You know what? Do you know what so they were trying to figure out how to make air travel faster. So how would you get to Japan in an hour or 15 minutes, right? But the problem is breaking the sound barrier has always been a problem because when you break the sound barrier, you break windows. You have to fly over the Atlantic, certain routes, right?
Your eardrum.
Everything. So
You have a terrible flatulence.
the new
You probably crap your pants.
you crap your pants a little bit.
To get to Mars, I'll handle that.
Gotta wear a diaper. Now, the new idea, and it's not a new idea, but they were trying to work a way where you get on a plane, you'd get shot into orbit. Okay, so you get shot straight up into orbit.
Right.
The Earth would revolve because the Earth turns at 2,000 miles an hour, I believe. So the Earth would spin.
You'd think it would get a ticket. At that
You'd
speed.
think it'd get a ticket, but who are they going to give a ticket to? As it spins, the rocket would come straight back down. So as the Earth spins,
So it's like,
yeah,
boom.
you wait till it comes over
you're
to
just going
Japan.
straight up.
And straight down.
Now, if you're going straight up, you're like an F-14 or something.
No, you'd
I
be
feel
in
like
kind of a
it's
rocket.
dangerous.
You'd be in a rocket.
Oh, okay.
It's really
that
an
doesn't
interesting
sound,
idea.
That doesn't sound cheap.
It doesn't
No, it's
sound
not.
safe. It just sounds unsafe.
Well, you'd break.
I'll just handle the
Earth's
17
atmosphere.
hours getting to Japan
Yeah.
in first class.
Although technically you could get to Japan in 20 minutes or an hour as opposed to.
See, I heard they were talking about like almost like tubular traveling. You know what I'm saying? Like you're almost in pods to
yeah.
get across the Atlantic and do that stuff. That's what I heard.
Well, they were also playing with the idea of cables. This really weird, but there's like no way you can kind of find
Cables.
Cables.
I also heard about taking us and miniaturizing us to the size of Ant-Man and shooting us out of a gun.
That's
Ooh, that
probably the
sounds
most
fun.
promising
It'd be fun
idea.
because
Like
you
Honey,
can
I
shoot
Shrunk the
yourself into
Kids.
How are they going to shrink my personality and my ego?
No, you have a giant ego.
Just your head
And
stays
abs.
large.
How about your abs?
got
How about
great
those
abs.
abs?
200 grand. I don't want to be the first guy to do it, but I mean, after a couple of years, once you know, like you don't want to be the first guy to have LASIK eye surgery.
Right.
You don't want to be that guy.
Right. And let's wait till the
My
price comes
ex-wife
down.
did that, and she doesn't see me anymore. But no, she did. But now they don't do the same way. They used to slice it like a pie. Now they just do a little vasectomy underneath it.
Yes.
But I'm not doing it because I don't want to be cockeyed. But
I got it done, but I had LASIK. Yeah, the LASIK.
You have good- it worked on you.
And do you have to wear glasses for reading?
Nothing. No, I'm fine. The only side
Can you
effects
see your
I have-
penis at night?
Yeah. Well, yes.
Use infrared goggles?
No, the night vision.
He's got a piece on
But the thing is
You're like Predator when you masturbate?
yeah, right. At night is there's like halos over lights. Just
Yes.
at night, there's like little halos on car lights and.
Well, why would you want that? Would you?
Because I couldn't really. I had to wear contacts. I couldn't and glasses before.
And you can't wear contacts and really do sports.
No, and you just don't want to. Like I'm fine. Like during the day, it's fine. My eyes are sensitive to the light, so I always need sunglasses on. But
I can't wear contacts. I actually scratch my cornea. My
Really?
lids are scarred. I was walking outside once of a house I was living in, and I moved a plant, and the plant slashed my
Oh, fuck.
cornea. I
Really?
sued the plant.
Yeah, Jamie Masada at the Laugh Factory went to pet his dog. He's got mastiffs, and his fucking dog. He got down and he went to pet his dog, and his fucking dog ran into him with his nose and hit him right in the
That squishy
eyeball with
nose?
his goddamn nose. Yeah, this giant.
And it fucked his eye up?
And it not only fucked his eye up bad, like as in for a year.
lost his eye?
He was wearing a patch. He had to go to the doctor. They couldn't figure it out. He broke his eye with his
That
fucking
dog must
nose.
have hit the shit out of
That
him.
explains why some of the comedians haven't been as strong. Because you can only see half of them.
He can only see half of them.
Oh my goodness!
I love Jamie
how I
Masada.
get it.
I love you,
Shout
buddy.
out to,
I love you,
shout out
buddy.
to Jamie Masada.
What else
He
you
does
got,
a lot
Ev?
for charity. I miss him.
All right, next one we got to talk about.
We need more Elon Musks. I do want to say that we need more guys,
More
that are that
visionaries?
smart visionaries,
Yeah.
the more Steve Jobs
tough
of the
to
world.
come by.
They have
They're
to
very
be
tough to
brilliant,
come
and they
by.
have to want to help the world.
What do you drive? I drive a Tesla.
I don't. I had a hybrid Lexus, and then the battery went on me, and the light said, "Get out of car immediately." And I drove it to a Lexus dealership and had them bring me a brand new one. But they're making a new one that is part hybrid, part gas.
Okay.
I can't do a Tesla because I have a daughter that lives in Central California, and I'm not going to sit at a plug-in
No, you're
station
not.
for 45 minutes.
That's the problem.
What am I going to eat? Zag nuts and Slim Jims?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait.
You have that problem too, right, B? Like yesterday, we had to drive to Glendale, and he picked me up in his goddamn Passat.
Yeah, it's killing me.
we need to go fuel free so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
So you
we
don't have
use
to rely on
gas
that
just
stuff.
for, I don't know, doing what.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the new system that Musk is proposing for that whole get to Mars thing, it's no fuel at all, which would take the cost down from 10 billion using like today's like traditional method to get to space down to that $200,000 price tag.
billion.
So it's a pretty hefty discount.
However, the
It's like methane
lithium,
and oxygen and shit.
the lithium battery causes terminal cancer. So
Is that true?
I don't know. I just want to spread that.
You're spreading
just wanna
terrible
spread that.
rumors. Bob Saget and his lithium rumors.
Elon Musk's kids box with Tony with his box.
right, that's right.
And in Brentwood, and I'm like, no one touch these kids' brains because
Yeah.
they're probably gonna invent some cool shit.
Yeah,
Let's
hopefully.
not let them get punched in the face.
Uh-huh.
Let them just hit mitts, get in shape, but no head trauma for these little
No head trauma.
these little fucking brilliant minds.
Right.
What else you got, Ev?
Speaking of head trauma, let's talk about Jose Aldo, who is asked for his release from the UFC, or he's just basically going to retire from fighting. He said he wants to probably try another
Soccer.
sport professionally. I'd assume soccer, since he was straight up like
think he's
Brazilian A team kind of stuff.
Does he really? He's
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
good?
he was
pro.
really.
He might
Why
have been
do you think
pro.
he kicks so hard?
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. He played soccer forever.
He's fed up. He said that Conor McGregor basically runs the UFC now. Like whatever Dana says to him is bullshit. It doesn't matter anymore. He was supposed to fight for a title after he won the interim belt from Frankie in that Frankie Edgar fight at 200. Obviously, that ain't happening with Conor fighting Alvarez and holding on to his current title and possibly the second one. So he's just fed up with this shit.
So he's under contract, so he
sympathize.
can't get out. Is that what the problem is?
Kind of. Yeah, I mean,
That's-
I highly doubt the UFC will release him because when you sign a deal, they basically own your rights. They could release him
For how long?
Depends how long his contract is, but if he has a 6-fight contract, he can't go anywhere. He literally can't. But the thing is, the reason why he's upset is because after Nate and Conor McGregor fought, who Conor has the belt at his weight class, Dana goes, there's not going to be a trilogy. The next fight is Conor at 145. He has to defend his belt. Otherwise, he has to vacate the belt. And Jose's going, perfect. Let's do it, man. I want the belt. And so he was kind of banking on that, and that's what he was told. So now they made Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez on the New York card, UFC 205, which is, to me, the most
his foot's okay.
card ever. Yeah, well, apparently. But so Jose's going, fuck this, man. I want out. Because, they're not sticking by their word. What's he going to do? Just hang around while this other dude... I get Jose's frustration. I'm obviously a huge Conor fan. I love that New York card. But for Jose, I get it, man.
Me too.
Chances of him getting released are not good.
What about
they're
him
gonna
going
bury
to
him.
Mars? If he goes to Mars,
That's a different story.
That's smart. If they
That's
start
the
a
way
fight
out.
league in Mars...
Yeah.
Do an interstellar fight organization.
I really sympathize with Jose because I think you're talking about such a great champion, and he gave so much, and he was champion for 9 years. How many years did he?
He was in champion for 9 years, but
He held the title for a long time.
Not 9 years,
And
yeah.
and he gets knocked out for once and doesn't get a chance to redeem himself. Man, oh man, that's a shitty way to treat a longtime champion.
It's because he's not a draw. But he even goes, I realize Conor's a huge draw, and I get why they're doing this. But man, what am I? Just a chopped liver? What's going on here?
It's
Like,
disrespectful.
Can't treat me like that.
It's so disrespectful.
The sad. You know what the sad part is? You ain't gonna do shit, Jose. There's really nothing he can do.
You're fighting a huge corporation.
Dana goes, you're not going to fight. You're not draw anyways. But there's, the fans, there's not going to be that big of an uproar. No. Like the Brazilian fans are upset. Dana really doesn't give a fuck. He just said the other day, in the UFC, you earn what you kill. That's why on fighters pay. Like, you get what you kill. But if you're Jose Aldo, let him kill. Let him kill this zebra from Ireland. Let him kill, this zebra from fucking New York, Eddie Alvarez. Let him earn his prize. But they're not even giving him the opportunity. So, again, you're not gonna do shit. That's the world we live in. It's a bummer.
How long were you tied to your contract?
I had a 4-year deal and then a 6-fight deal. Realistically, I'm still under contract with them. Like, I get messages all the time. Just go to Bellator. You make more money. You're bigger draw now. It doesn't work like that.
In fact, when you retired, you got a letter saying basically, see you later. And I saw the letter. It was really impersonal. See you later. And also, if you choose to fight again, you have to fight with us.
Yeah, remember, we own you. Basically, it was an email that said,
"Oh my God."
Really impersonal.
It was, remember, if you ever decide to fight again, you have to go through USADA testing, and you're still part of the UFC.
8 years of fighting for the UFC.
That was all I got was an email. I'm also a guy who speaks out and speaks my mind, and I talk a lot of. It's not even that I talk shit, but I just say how I feel. Most guys can't, so. I didn't get blackballed. Like, I've lost some UFC shows, which...
Do you sign stuff that says you can't be bad-mouthing at all?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And I do, the Reebok deal, the mistreatment of Jose Aldo, certain stuff. If a card sucks, I'll tell you it sucks. Like I said, I've lost UFC deals, but I need another UFC show like I need a fucking punch in the face. I decided to make my own show, and it got bigger than any UFC show in the world.
Do you at least get, like, hoodies and stuff? Do you get swag?
They give you Reebok. I don't anymore. I refuse to wear it, but...
Reebok is specific?
Reebok's the exclusive endorser, so you'll see guys in, like, Reebok pumps and fight kits with their name spelled wrong. Stuff like that.
If you were Jose Aldo, would you think about going up to 155 if you were in his position right now?
Doesn't matter. You're not gonna. I guess. I guess.
How would he do at the 55?
I'm sure fine. He's an absolute killer. But at 55, I don't know. I don't know what. Are they gonna give him big fights? Or is he
gonna be another guy?
Well, no, he's Jose Aldo. He's not going to be another guy, but is he going to, he lost one fight, so then he goes to 55. What happens to him? Does he fight for the title right away like Conor? What happens there?
Yeah.
Wonder what Jose's non-champion's contract is. Like, what is he making right now?
But like I said, the reason why the UFC and Zuffa got so big is obviously they have a ton of money. Viacom has more money. That's what people don't understand. The competitors, Viacom, has more money than Fox, but they have the best lawyers. The smarter the lawyers, the better the contracts. Those contracts are...
Makes me happy we're in a union, Bob.
I actually think I'd like to see the lawyers go at it.
I'd love
to see them in the cage.
When there's money. Yeah. They're when there's money.
What are you looking for right now?
I was going to see if I could find how much Jose actually makes per fight. Apparently, the UFC actually responded about the whole contract cancellation request. And no surprise, they said, we will not cancel his contract. We know he got very emotional. We respect Jose Aldo very much. That's from Dana.
Like I said, you're not going to do shit. Doesn't that suck? Look, Jose could go, fuck Dana White, fuck the UFC. I'm not fighting for you guys anymore. Release me. Nope.
If he refused to show, would they put him under arrest?
No. All they're going to do is freeze your contract
and sue him.
You can't fight anywhere. You're not going to earn money. If you want to, if he decides to quit and he wants to pursue another profession, he can do. Obviously can't do anything about that. But fighting,
so he could open a restaurant.
You can open a restaurant. Just can't call it as real as it gets with the UFC or something like that.
Call it UFCC.
It sucks, right?
Yeah,
it's the world we live in.
All right, one more thing we got to talk about from UFC world is the 205 press conference from yesterday, which definitely had its highlights.
A little gimmicky though, huh?
A little bit, yeah. I liked it. It was fun for me, for sure.
Can we watch some of these?
Yeah. Did you see when he roasted Jeremy Stevens?
I sure didn't, but I'd like to see that.
That is a good one. I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's Conor being Conor, right? Like, he's always good he's by far the best on those things. No one else had much to say.
Do you know this guy, Bob? Conor McGregor? Conor McGregor is an Irishman who came out of nowhere and was just so entertaining and said, I'm going to win the belt. I'm taking over. And he did win the belt. He backed up his talk. He's very flamboyant. and basically fantastic.
He's the face of the UFC.
Yeah,
I have
just-
seen him. I know. Yeah.
He's just a badass. Oh, here we go.
So
Here we
here's
go.
the
Here.
face
Oh,
off.
there we go. There we go. By the way, Connor's taller.
Well, their barber bills are small.
Right? Connor says he's going to knock him out in 1 round.
Connor's a lot bigger than Eddie Alvarez, sir. Am I wrong? Or is that just the camera angle? It's so
No,
weird.
you're right.
Huh.
Yeah, Connor's not a small
He's got
dude.
more girth.
Wow. Oh, here we go.
This was a fun
Turn
one.
this up.
Yeah, make me. Question. What did you think about stupid ass glasses on? Yeah, make me. Make me. Make me. Make me. Make me. Make me.
If you notice during this whole thing, Wonder Boys Thompson is sitting next to Connor. When Connor turned and started getting all fired up,
Took his water bottle?
The second Connor looked away, he took his water bottle and energy drink can away from him.
hilarious.
I'm surprised you didn't fight in the UFC, Bob. But
You know, I know. I've said "make me" before.
you have said that.
Yeah, to many women.
It's good to like I said, to me, this
let's
is the
watch
best
this.
card of all
Let's watch.
time.
When I knock people out, they don't fucking move. Jeremy Stevens challenged Conor McGregor at the UFC 205 press conference, and Conor had the perfect reaction. Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Wow,
That's a legit point.
Holy
Who the
shit.
fuck is that guy?
that's a strong slam.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for UFC 205, man. Amazing card.
Oh, yeah,
Amazing.
it's gonna be good.
Insane card.
It makes
you said Khabib, Michael Johnson got added to that too?
Fuck you. Did it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that got officially announced yesterday. Khabib, Michael Johnson's
that
on the
the main
card,
card?
too. I have no idea if it's going to be on the main card.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the best. It's the best UFC card of all time. Shit
On paper,
200.
hands down.
Shit's on 200. We just gotta make sure no injuries happen.
Bob, we'll watch it together. We'll get some popcorn.
We got, a month and 14 days or so? Month and 2 weeks? Month and a half?
Very excited.
Connor had some.
No,
funny
10
stuff
years
right?
ago, UFC was
Nothing.
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 And
Absolutely
now it's,
nothing.
Now it's
That's
they sold it for $4 billion.
Very interesting. What else you got, Ev?
It's
Is
got
that
those
it?
triggers,
Yep.
those visual triggers.
Those are it for current events.
Good current events.
Good current.
And you know what I like about your current events? None of it's tabloid crap.
No,
None of it.
no.
Maybe it is sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes.
We have a
Can't
segment.
avoid
We have
it.
a segment here on the show called "Dropping Knowledge," and this is. I want you to bear with me on this, and I want to get your point of view on this. It's funny because when I talk, I've been very critical of Trump on this podcast, and I get a lot of shit for it online and stuff.
Right.
I'm not pro Hillary. I am probably just more anti-Trump, but I have to say that doesn't mean that I criticize people who are voting for Trump in a lot of ways, and that's the fashion. But here's why. You know, I have a very limited perspective. I'm older, and I've lived in lots of countries, and I try to educate myself. I still have a very limited perspective, and I'm going to give you two examples. One was I listened on on BBC to the area of the Appalachian Mountains where heroin is a major problem. There are certain parts of this country where
A
heroin
problem they can't get it, you mean?
it's a problem. Yeah, well, it's a problem that it's such an epidemic, and it starts with a lot of times in communities that are very poor that have a lot of manual labor. They got to work in coal mines. You break
Right.
your feet and everything else. What happens is you then are prescribed pain medication. And because it's hard to get to access to healthcare, you're prescribed pain medication, maybe in a haphazardous way. Maybe you're self-medicating, which then turns into an opiate addiction, which then turns into a heroin addiction. And it's epidemic. And if you look at what happened in the coal mining business with the rise of China and stuff, a lot of these communities are pretty decimated because they can't sell enough coal. Coal used to be the centerpiece of that environment. And I was listening to this, and I was listening to some of the people there who had voted for Obama, and with the promise that things were going to get better 8 years ago. Then my buddy who lives in Oklahoma, it helps a lot of men who come out of jail, men and boys who come out of jail, and tries to get them assimilated.
Did it come out together?
They come out together. Yes, they go and his boys come out. Who try to get reassimilated into society. And he was telling me something that I thought was fascinating. He said, "Well, I'm trying to help somebody who just got out of jail after 10 years. I'm trying to help them out in Miami." And he said, what's their crime? And I said, well, they stole a car and then he killed somebody in self-defense in jail. It was manslaughter. And my friend said, that's actually really not a bad crime, believe it or not. I can get him placed versus somebody who did a sex crime or somebody who did something with a gun. And I said, oh, and we started talking. And he said, and he started to explain to me, he's black, and he started to explain to me how some of the major problems he deals with. He goes, those aren't the big problems. He said, what I deal with all the time is something as simple as this. A 17-year-old kid's waiting for his girlfriend outside of a Walmart. Cop rolls up and looks at him. Could be a black cop, white cop, whatever it is, but the cop rolls up and goes, that's a 17-year-old black kid with a hoodie. And he says,
Right.
And he says something. All he says to the kid is he goes, you live here? You live around here? And the kid, being a smartass, goes, do I look like I live around here? And then the cop says, watch your mouth. And then the kid goes, I'm not even fucking saying anything, bro. Now the cop can slap you with, and this is not a knock on cops, I'm just telling you what they deal with. Now the cop can slap him with resisting arrest or, insubordinate behavior and a lot of things like that. So now maybe the cop arrests you or the cop gives you a ticket and you've got to show up in court. Problem is, when you have a job, you got to tell your boss that for the second time, because you're a young kid, you have to go to court. But that means you got to take off work. And now you have a choice whether you're going to miss work or you're going to go to court. And a lot of times you can lose your driver's license. Now you don't have a car and you have to take the bus. So these are the kinds of situations that happen. So now you can't get a job because you don't have a car, you don't have a driver's license, you lost your job because you had to go to court. There are 1,000 things that you get caught up in. You get caught up in this cycle. And the next thing you know, all of a sudden now you are, well, I can't get a job. Maybe I'll try to sell some weed. You sell some weed and you know what happens from there. And he deals with people who get caught up in this very strange circle and cycle when it can be something as simple as, do you live here? It starts with, do you live here?
Which
and because he doesn't know how to be respectful, he's got a lot of frustration. He's kind of an irritable kid, and he talks back.
He feels that he's being treated
Singled out,
disrespectfully.
yeah.
Yes.
So it's all about that first encounter, and
Exactly.
unfortunately, when authority comes at you, you don't know where they're coming from. Just keep your mouth as shut as you can because you don't.
But especially this day and age with the cop shootings and it's getting out there all over.
And the cops that are shooting.
Most African Americans are going to be hostile towards a white cop.
It doesn't come from nowhere. It doesn't.
No, it's
It's
understandable.
deep-seated frustration that comes from these guys. It's not the shooting
There's
of
a
the unarmed
reason why
man.
they're like, "What do you want, man? I'm waiting for my girl."
Exactly.
Why not question the guy up there?
And it's reaffirmed by everything we see on the media, and it is ironic that a lot of the police that are, and I'm not, I'm on humanity's side.
Yes. Yes.
But it is strange that the cop not wearing the camera is the one pulling the trigger.
Well,
is it a convenient removal of the camera?
it's not just that though, Bob, because my buddy's not anti-police. My buddy is
Nor am I.
at all. But what my buddy was saying was that a lot of times these kinds of things happen because the young man in question doesn't really.
I'm anti-profiling.
Well,
And I'm anti. If a kid wants to be a smart ass, that's no reason to go, well, I'm the law. so
Sure.
That's an
therefore-
ego thing.
it's
That
an
is
ego
all-
thing.
that
That's
is
where the cops
all
go,
ego.
bro. I'm fucking talking to you.
There you go.
Bro, just because you have a badge
Yes.
doesn't really give you
if a-
authority
But you
to
and
talk
I-
to me like
right,
that.
but you and I, Brennan, and when we were kids, we
Which is
would probably
nothing.
go.
It's petulant, and
Right.
it has nothing to do
It's
with
an ego thing.
But
Totally.
but you and I know you were able to slice. You'd go, that's a cop. Chances are he might have had a bad day. He deals with different things. He's got a gun. He's got a badge. He's kind of a macho guy. I'm not going to try to one up this guy. Go nose to nose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, no, sir, I'm just waiting for my girl. That's it. This kid, you don't know what he's coming from. He doesn't yet know. So this guy I'm trying to help, his name is
And God forbid he's got a gun on the seat.
God knows.
A legal gun.
So the guy you're trying to help, your friend killed a kid?
No. The front guy I'm trying to help went to jail for car. He stole a car. Somebody tried to. And this was proven in court. Somebody tried to fight him. He fought back, and he's a big, strong dude. And he threw the guy on his head,
And he killed him.
Guy died.
And
so
he
got
called Brian Callen for help.
No, I met him when I was. I met him in Miami-Dade County Jail when I was writing a TV show about a jail. It was based on a real true guy. The long story, but I was paid to go down there and do that.
But
a
he
long
called
time
you
ago.
for help?
No, I stayed in touch with him because I talked to him every day for the week that I was down in Miami-Dade County Jail, and he's a great guy. I mean, I've talked to him for 10
killed
years.
a guy, but yeah.
No, he
I would
killed
call
a guy.
you. If
As
I
well,
had
you should.
accidentally killed a man, I would call
You'd be
you.
the first person
trying to
I
help.
call.
By the way,
I'm gonna
Right.
say this guy's fucked already.
Right, but by trying
I
to
need a
help
man with
someone,
abs to show
well,
up.
trying to help somebody like this
Need a
who gets
comic
thrown out of
actor to
jail,
get me out of
you
here.
get thrown out of jail with no money, no money, no skill set, and they go ahead and here's a halfway house. You got 2 weeks, and then fend for yourself. Oh my God! So I'm doing everything. My first thing my buddy said is, well, I'm not going to call him D-Lo. I'm going to call him D'Angelo. He's got to know that he goes by D'Angelo now. And he said, you've been in jail for 10 years, and a lot of guys, it's the first thing I'm going to tell them is that getting back into society is not going to take a month. It's going to take at least a year. Yeah. So here's the dropping knowledge
Don't
that I
kill
want.
people.
Nope. Here's the dropping
There's my
knowledge.
dropping knowledge.
The dropping knowledge is this. As I was listening to these coal miners in West Virginia, many of whom are supporting Trump, what I realized was that when they hear Hillary Clinton, what they're hearing is a politician as usual, like Obama, whoever, who didn't help them. And what they're saying is we're going to grow the middle class, we're going to make society fairer, we're going to tax the wealthy. And they're hearing the same shit. And guess what? 8 years ago and even 12 years ago or whatever it was, it didn't help them. And a lot of these people are humbled and desperate, and a lot of these people are looking for any kind of change. And so they may not like everything about Trump, but the reason that they're voting for someone like Trump
it's way
is because
outside
it's
the box.
different. It's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And so when I
When I
criticize
say way
Donald
outside
Trump,
the
I'm not
box,
criticizing.
that was not a feminist,
No,
anti-feminist.
I'm with you.
Outside of the box. So it's very interesting how I always think of myself as having a wide macro perspective when I don't. I don't know what it's like to be a coal miner. I don't know what it's like to be a 17-year-old kid, black kid, and I don't know what it's like to be a 50-year-old black guy trying to help these kids. I don't know a lot.
And you don't know what it's like to be a scared police officer.
I sure don't.
Out at night.
I sure as fuck don't.
Yeah.
with an ego problem because
Their job's a beast, man.
It's a beast.
it's an army. It's become the army.
And now their jobs are even harder. Cops. So,
We
it's
somehow have to, and which is impossible, and everybody is saying this, is to get all the sides talking.
talking's
To get
huge.
the people. I mean, my
Everyone's
friend
too
Jeff Ross.
defensive.
Jeff Ross, a friend of mine, did a really interesting special for Comedy Central about the Boston Police Department, and he roasted them. But what he did was he went out to a Black Lives Matter rally, and then a couple of police officers showed up, and the tension was so thick, and there was so much pain, and and the individuals from the Black Lives Matter wanted nothing to do with the police, and there was antagonism from the beginning, and it hurts so much. You want so much to just somehow. I don't know how you bring peace to this world right
Well,
now.
what
I
you'd
don't
start
know
by
what
saying,
do.
you start by saying, if you look at the Black Lives Matter thing, if you look at the unrest in somewhere like Charlotte, you have to realize that frustration comes from a real place. It is not just this wild emotion, and it's not just about one guy getting shot.
Oh, no,
This is
no.
post-traumatic stress syndrome that has been built up
Oh, it's
over
hundreds
generations.
of years.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about people that want the South to rise again.
Yeah.
And we're talking about people that have been totally pushed down.
Yeah, but the way you don't solve that is you don't say all cops are racist and it's the cops that are the problem. No,
No, there's some great,
it's a miscommunication.
wonderful cops.
No,
Yes.
most of them are great.
Most
yes.
of them.
Yeah,
are.
that's true.
Most of them. So you're right. It's about communication. Instead of saying I don't like you, to start out with, start by going, I know you got a tough job, and I know your feelings are fucking valid.
I think that's easier said than done. I
course
think
it
if
is.
you're an African American who grew up in that culture, like we're three fucking privileged white people. So if you're an African American in that society, in that fucking city, and the cops.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I want to thank you for
shit,
calling
it's
me a
tough.
white guy, not just a dirty Jew.
There you go, man.
Because it gets so exhausting.
Yeah.
it gets so exhausting.
Yeah.
It really
You
is.
know what? You took the words right out of my mouth.
Even during the debate, when I
Wait to leave here and go to the bank.
even during the debate, when I see Trump and Hillary talking about how they're gonna help black people and stuff, it's tough, man.
Sure.
Well, by the way-
two fucking rich people, even us, like I see it online, like why the fuck are these two talking? Because I don't have that viewpoint. For
I don't
African-Americans
have
and-
the viewpoint of saying black people.
No,
don't
I have no idea what it's
I
like.
like black people. What the fuck? Where is that? Yes, Black Lives Matter is real, and people have been downtrodden and treated with disrespect. But Trump is speaking about an entire race of humanity as though it is a thing.
Yes, but it also doesn't mean that as a white
almost
person,
Archie Bunkerish.
But it doesn't mean as a white person you can't make a difference, and it doesn't mean as a white person you can't educate yourself, and it doesn't mean as a white person you can't be part of the solution versus part of the problem. And part of the problem might be to do nothing. So I do think that everybody can help. It doesn't matter what your privilege is. It doesn't matter.
Are you about to ask for money?
I am, and here's
Just
the
from
thing.
black people?
I'm gonna, and I want all our black
The
listeners
Black
to
Person
send us
Fund
some
for
money
Brian
in.
Callen?
It's
And
a
all the
black
Trump
fund.
I just always find it very interesting that if you hear you see it on CNN, MSNBC, if you hear an actual African American who's been through it, they're not talking like the white people.
Nope.
They have a way different perspective, and it goes way further than hearing a comic actor on a successful podcast, on a rich white guy on CNN talking about it. It's almost hard to listen to. And I'm not even black, and it almost upsets me because I'm like, what the fuck do you guys really know?
But that's what we're saying.
All
Yeah.
I'm saying is that we can rich white people who live in Calabasas, Marina, whatever. When they give their perspective,
First of all,
on
I don't like the way you
African-Americans-
say rich. Even rich white people is alienating because there are different kinds of rich white people. Again, this is the problem with the conversation in this country. When
Everybody's
you say
diverse.
rich white people, you're putting a
Everyone's-
fence around that, and you're excluding them from the problem.
No,
There
I'm not
are-
excluding them.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
There
is
are-
I don't
I know what you're saying.
want to hear a white successful person tell me what the solution is.
Nobody is. Yeah, I know.
Well,
you
so it's very hard to
I
watch.
don't
It's
care
hard
what
to
your
watch the
point is.
news because
I
of
agree.
that. Because that's who's
'cause,
reporting
yeah,
it.
All white people are giving you their perspective on it, and
Yes.
it's obviously not working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the more African Americans who have a voice, who are actually in the
An
trenches,
African-American
come out,
newscasters-
that's what we need.
And an African American newscaster on CNN isn't given the latitude
No.
to represent their heritage, and that is you're basically still coming through the voice of white America. So I think the solution
It's tough,
is
man.
we start painting everybody blue.
There you
So
go.
we just
Thanks.
Get
all
rid of all
Finally.
colors.
Oh, everybody on the news should be
Smurfs.
fucking blue.
fucking Smurfs, and we chroma key just beautiful.
Chroma key. Bob Saget with the
suits.
answers. Bob Saget with the answers.
Everybody should be the same color.
I agree with
That
you.
would help.
And then they'll just
and
hate
religion,
but they'll still hate all same religion.
all same religion.
All same religion.
Dude, we had a million questions for you. Let's go to some
Let's go to
fan
some
questions.
fan
Evan the
questions, man.
Beard.
God damn it, Bob! You're ruining everything. Keep
All right,
going.
first question.
19 inches from the floor.
What was
the
it?
floor.
What was it like doing that one-liner in Half Baked, and how was it working with Dave Chappelle?
I love Dave Chappelle. He's one of the funniest, obviously greatest stand-ups alive. I had been directing a movie called Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald.
I love that
Artie
movie.
Lang. Yeah, I directed
I
that.
forgot about
I love that movie.
1 year I directed that damn thing. It was Chris Farley's last movie, who I loved more than
He got
life.
his nose bitten off by
By a Saigon
Saigon-
whore. There's
Saigon
a Saigon whore that bit my nose off.
Dude, I forgot about that.
And then
movie.
she
And
goes,
Don
"You
Rickles."
listen to me." And Jimmy No Nose was his name.
Jimmy
and he
No
goes,
Nose.
"Shut your cake hole, Yoko." Horrible.
Dude, I heard Don Rickles looked at you and he said, "I am coming from the set of a Martin Scorsese picture. I told him you were directing a movie. The man clutched his chest."
Yes. He said he
Don
was on,
Rickles.
Don Rickles, who was a friend of mine, and I love him. And anybody has a chance to go see Don Rickles, go see him.
greatest.
He actually was on Leno one night, and he said, "I'm doing really well. I did a Scorsese picture, and now I'm working for Bob Saget." And Norm Macdonald, during filming, was saying, "Why am I listening to the guy that was on America's Funniest Home Videos?" But the answer to the question was, they asked me to do a part in Half Baked. They gave me the script, and the line was, "I suck dick for coke."
You
and
suck dick for coke.
It was a drug rehab scene, and I said the line with pride. And
Good.
the best part was a guy named Dave Edwards or Edmonds. Damn it, I'm sorry, Dave. And I said I used to suck dick for coke, and he yells out, "I seen him!" And that's the best. That's the best line in the movie.
seen him.
I seen him is better than I used to suck dick for
I
coke.
seen him.
But it was funny because that at the time was right before I did The Aristocrats, right before a bunch of appearances on Entourage.
You were great in
so
Aristocrats,
a lot of people, I kind of flipped the zeitgeist, and then I knew my life had arrived when I was in the Rolling Stone as a maverick, full-page picture of me right before Billy Joe Armstrong. Wow. As a maverick, simply because I said I sucked dick for coke.
That's hilarious.
So that's you don't want to say it in your normal life, but it can change your.
In the Aristocrats, I think you were laughing so hard you couldn't get the joke out. Was that you in the Aristocrats?
Yes, I couldn't do it because I was so ashamed that I was doing it.
It was
I'd
so- do you know that movie?
Dom Herrera told me the
It's all
joke.
comedians telling the worst. It's the most disgusting joke of all time. It's about
And
a
it's not even
family
a
of
joke.
circus performers. And you have to make it as dirty as you can and as disgusting as you can. It's Sarah Silverman, George Carlin, Bob Saget.
George Carlin was kind of the
It's a great
Obi-Wan
fucking
Kenobi
Yeah.
of the movie, and it's not something you could. People in stand-up ask me to tell it. I think Gilbert Gottfried might tell it in public, but I don't. But
he's
it was,
another one kills me.
it's about a family so desperate to make it in show business. I won't get into it because it is disgusting.
Yeah.
They go to an agent's office. It's like the Von Trapp family from Sound of Music is how I told it, and. They said, we want you to represent us. He said, what do you do? What do we do? And then they start to do heinous acts with each other.
I take a shit on my wife, and then she eats it. And it
Oh,
just
no,
gets
no,
the
no. You don't
worst.
have to go there.
No, it gets
Well,
so
it's
bad.
incestuous. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then the punchline is, well, what do you call yourselves? Or it actually should end with, ta-da, and then somebody's doing something to someone. Everybody's naked, and there's feces everywhere.
Yeah.
And,
Jesus Christ.
And then it's good stuff. And then
Big time comics
He
telling the
says,
story.
what do you call yourselves? And they say the aristocrats.
Yeah.
But there were people in the movie of intelligence, like Chris Rock and Don Rickles, that did not tell the joke. Did Jerry?
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the movie, but they said, I'm not going to tell that. And Robin told a completely different joke. And
George Carlin went all out.
Oh yeah.
George Carlin told it was so
George
gross
Carlin
but
was
funny.
so beautiful.
Oh man, I mean, come on.
That's a prophet. That was a
Damn
that
right
was
he
a
was.
comic that. That's one of the things about comedy that I love so much. There's so many different kinds of stand-ups. You can do political observation. You could do, just pure joy for people. You could attack everything that's going on in the news. I mean, some of my favorite comedians are people that are, all the way from, Jon Stewart to John Oliver to Bill Maher to whoever. I don't go political. I keep things below my belt where it's safe.
Damn right. I'm
My
right
wiener's
with you.
not going to hurt nobody.
What else you got,
I'm
Ev?
with you, Bob.
It's actually a really good segue into this next question. Has Bob ever had anyone come up to him upset after his stand-up performance and complain that he wasn't a clean performer? Also ask if he bitch slapped that person. Thanks.
If I what?
Were people upset if they go to your
No, the
stand-up?
last part.
Did you ever bitch slap him?
Oh, and please ask if he bitch slapped that
Oh, I've
person.
never bitch slapped anything but my penis, but and I've called it a bitch, and I've yelled at it and screamed at it because it's messed my life up a lot. No, I entertain people. I've gotten this crazy new theory. I've been doing like an hour and 40-minute shows lately.
Jeez, man.
Something's wrong with me.
You're a
I'm
beast.
I'm loving it. I'm just loving
Yeah.
it, and half of it's music. And my last special got nominated for a Grammy Award.
Jesus, man.
But Kathy Griffin won, and I always say I like him, so I don't want to make fun of her. No, people are not offended because I'm truly wanting to entertain them, and there's no kids there, and I'm not doing much. I'm saying fuck a few times. It's not.
Right.
I'm not graphically describing, gynecology or anything. Yeah. But after the show, I do give pap smears out in the lobby, but that's different.
But that's for $10.
That is, and I'm wearing a clown wig. So,
That's the VIP?
but no,
It's sanitized. The clown wig is sanitized, guys.
No one's offended. And what am I going to do if I was the guy on Full House? I'd dust bust the stage. I mean, what would they want?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Clean
You'll
their
always
glass.
do stand up too, right?
I think so. I mean, I don't see myself being 80 doing it. I mean, I love directing. There's a thing I'm set up to direct pretty soon.
I hope you audition.
Traffic at
At rush
out
hour.
in Beverly and right by the Beverly Center. I'm going to be directing people into that lot because there's so many lanes.
As well, you should be.
Yeah, but I'm a writer and I'm a director and I'm a picker and a grinner and I play my music in the sun.
Love it, man.
I want
You
to
can play.
bitch slap Steve Miller.
Steve Miller. Steve Miller.
What else you got, Ev?
Did anyone ever pull any pranks on the set of Full House or Fuller House? If so, who pulled the best ones?
Dave Coulier farts on cue and it's not
Which
really
one
a
is that?
prank. Dave Joey.
Oh, Joey.
Cut it out. Joey
Cut
Gladstone
it out.
with Mr. Woodchuck, that piece of shit.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking thing. But Dave has a farting problem. He can fart on cue. He knows how to do it. Dave is also a guy that, he will clear a set. It stinks so bad. He just doesn't care. He does it. He goes, what do you mean? You want me to keep it in my body? It'll die. I'll die, And then
What's wrong with
the
you?
other thing he does is he'll take his sack and he'll put it over his wiener
Yep.
and go, look, I'm a turtle. Things like that.
See,
So
I never get tired of that kind of humor because I'm.
Well, no, you like that. You would do that with your body.
Yeah, I do.
Do you do naked stuff? Do you do naked prank stuff?
Naked stuff.
I've sent him probably 20 dick pics and all kinds.
You don't
of shit.
send dick pics.
I sure as fuck do.
I sent Brian a video of me with my dick yesterday.
Yeah,
And the shot that you were saying at the start of the podcast.
Yeah.
we show each other our.
See, I don't
It's
like
every day.
it. I don't want poop. I don't want dick. Put them together,
If it's
and
funny,
you got
it's
Reese's
funny.
peanut butter cups.
Will Sasso will take pictures of his poop and send it to me. Tell me to have a good Sunday.
I don't believe in that. 'Cause
I don't like that.
remember eating corn.
Well,
I don't like that.
You know how that came about? You've heard that expression? I don't remember
Yeah.
eating corn. Supposedly Carol Channing, who was Hello Dolly on
Yeah.
Broadway, supposedly she was in a bathroom on Broadway, and a bunch of dancers were in there, and she's in a stall, gone to the bathroom, and supposedly she said, "Corn? I don't remember eating corn." And that's where it came from, and it's become a piece of our vernacular.
I heard that Chris Farley used to be at a ball game, or he'd go into the booth, to the bathroom and shut the door, and you just hear him go, it burns! It burns! That bitch! That bitch!
I've done that.
Burns!
That's funny. I always do that. I'll go
Every
into a
time.
bath. Well, if I'm walking to a couple stalls, with a couple friends.
Yeah.
Stamos and I are always in bathrooms together somehow, but I'll
Naturally.
always be going, "My God, there's so much blood! There's so much blood!" And then, someone's walking by. And, "Oh God, I shouldn't wring it out like this! Ow!"
I shouldn't wring it out.
No, you don't want to give your dick rug burn.
I'm stealing all of that.
Indian burn. It's an Indian burn.
I like Stamos. I haven't talked to him in a while.
I
We did a
love
movie
it.
together.
He should be on here.
I know. We got to get him on.
He's very busy. He's doing Scream Queens. He's been naked in showers all over the place. If you go to Instagram, you just see him and another dude in a shower accidentally touched wieners, he said.
Is that right?
What?
Yeah, he
He's-
said it was an accident.
Oh, you want to talk about a musician? You want to talk about a guy? He was sat down. We were
you
doing this
told me
movie,
this.
dude. He was sitting down and
Drums.
he started to play. Well, first of all, I can kill the drums. Plays
piano?
the drums with the best of them, but
It
starts
plays with
playing
the
a
Beach
piano.
Boys tours.
He's playing a piano. He's sitting down, just playing around the piano, and his foot. He's doing something with his foot, which is to the beat, like a drum. And then he starts to sing, and I was like, Oh yeah, that's right. You do Broadway musicals.
Yeah, he's done Broadway.
Oh, he does?
He's done Broadway a lot.
Oh, you do Broadway musicals where you dance as well. Oh, yeah.
Super talented. I've seen him in every play he's ever done because he and I are fruits together.
Yeah.
He's crazy
Yeah.
talented.
I've
would-
never
he's a-
had sex with him where he orgasmed. Ever.
Never?
Nope,
Never.
nothing. Couldn't
But you
even-
do make him wear
All
that
the
clown
years.
wig. You
all
make him wear
those
that
years,
clown
couldn't
wig.
even hit that prostate spot.
No?
No, I've never been in there. I
No.
don't know. He's Uncle Jesse.
I like
He's
that you
like,
had
you
to
can't. Yeah, it's
qualify
Uncle
that.
Jesse. What else you got?
Uncle
Ev?
Jesse.
All right, we got two more. What is your craziest on the road experience over all your years of doing stand up?
That's an easy one, and it's an easy go-to. There was a strip club in Alaska in Anchorage that they told us all to go to for cash. Jay Leno said, "Yeah, you go there, you get cash, it'll be great." So he didn't say it quite like that. He didn't sound like Buddy Hackett on Helium. So I went to. I was 24. All of a sudden, I'm in Anchorage. Pot and guns are legal. I'm in a club called PJ's. I was there with Kevin Nealon and another comedian.
Love Kevin.
I love Kevin.
Gotta get
so
Kevin
another
on.
comedian, will go unnamed, stayed in the trailer with the strippers while Kevin and I stayed in the comedy condo and went on a tour of Mount McKinley. You know, we did the manly thing.
You did the man thing. I would have been in
Instead
that
of
trailer with the
I know you
strippers.
would have been.
Yeah.
You would have had to be peeling things off with a clam knife, as
That-
how Otto and George used to phrase it. But
Peeling off with a clam knife.
I don't know. It's not good. But
I like it.
So I was on stage, and a stripper was on right before me, and this is a low. It's a career low, and she had pie pans with matches taped to the pie pans over her breasts and her nether regions. And which is in the Netherlands.
It's in the
And
Netherlands.
she set it all on fire, just 2 matches on each pie pan, and blew herself out. And then went, and now the comedy of Bob Saget.
Jesus.
So I followed that, and it was like sulfur.
That's so depressing.
Sulfur and
It's
sweat and a
so
wig.
fucking depressing.
And she wasn't attractive. It was pretty sad. I hope she's not listening because
Yeah.
one of her eyes
Good
just
chance she
popped
is.
out. But
One of her eyes just popped
My
out.
she had
God.
laser.
Alaska,
a
Alaska's tough,
nightmare.
dude. You would not get me doing stand-up. I've been
Well,
offered.
now it's good. I mean, there's theaters there. I know people that go there and
Yeah.
perform there. But
I've been asked.
No more strip club for
I've been
Bob
asked-
Saget.
No, in fact, there was one time. I know you want me to talk more. I know you can't get enough, but
We
there was
love
one
it.
time Stamos and Coulier said, "Let's go to a strip club, just the 3 of us." I'm like, "Guys, are you crazy? I mean, what, full house in a strip club is just?" And the show had been off for 10 years. We didn't care, so we went to this club. I don't want to say which one it was, but it's off the freeway, and it's all nude, but
Spearmint Rhino.
no booze.
Yeah.
And so we go inside, and John's like, "Don't worry, I got us all hooked up. Everything's taken care of." We're in the front row, and then the guy comes up with a microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have special guests here tonight
no.
from Full House.
For Christ's
It's
sake.
Danny
Good job,
Tanner,
Stamos
Uncle
and Dave
Jesse.
Coulier. Let me dust your tits." It was just horrific.
that's
It was
terrible.
horrific.
Bad idea, Stamos.
That was
Bad
horrible.
idea, bud.
I tried.
He denies it happened.
I tried to get Paul Giamatti to come to a strip club with me in Thailand. And I was like, just come on, man. I want to fuck. Let's go see what this shit's about. And he was like, I don't want to get recognized.
Who said it?
Paul Giamatti. I was like, I get it. You're way more famous than I am. Of course, people are going to go, that's the guy from, And for me, I can just slink around in a fucking hat.
How many times have they watched Sideways? I don't understand. So, I mean, is that like ping pong ball place? Is that what that
It's just,
actually,
epic,
right?
It's epic because you go to.
Do they pull a live lobster out?
They're like, you just call numbers, right?
Yeah, so you go in Soy Cowboy. There was one bar where you're walking, and there's the upper level, 2 levels. The upper level is a floor that's see-through, and the girls are dancing above you. They have numbers on their skirts with no underwear, so they're all dancing, and you're looking up at these girls with no underwear as they're dancing, and they have all kinds of different gimmicks. It was very interesting, actually.
Sounds like a
I think they should all
It
be
is a
sitting.
whorehouse.
That'd be a whorehouse.
Oh no, you can buy their number. It's $16. I can't remember. It was like $19 because we shot in the actual strip club.
Wait, for a dance or for a prostitute?
So the way it works,
For a week.
I think is that you have to pay a bar fine and for something like $29. I can't remember, and then you would
get a car wash.
You could get a girl for whatever. But these are girls. You look at these girls. They're
young, right?
They're young. They're from the country. They just need fucking money. They're trailing
terrible.
some 60-year-old German guy who's fucking fat with barnacles on his
you
face.
tipped
You
them
make
extra.
me
Yeah,
wish I
so-
was in a coal mine taking heroin when you tell me about it.
Right. So for me, having sex with them, I felt like, look, I'm married, I got kids, but this is a gift to you because I'm not fat and I'm not German.
And you're not gonna be
so I
mean.
felt like I was doing a service, you
I
guys.
agree.
But what if
And
you
my
don't
wife
have
would
good
understand
vision?
that.
What if you can't see in dark? Like you have night vision issues, right?
Yeah.
So what if you see a halo? And so what if because they're dancing above you, they're not close enough? Maybe they should be sitting Indian style on the ground. Then
You're
you're
right.
looking up, and then you think you're just looking at an aquarium with algae eaters in it.
That's a good. That's a
geez,
very.
those-
That's a
those
very good point,
Sucker
That-
fish.
dude. The lady boys there. The lady boys
They'll
there.
get you.
They'll get you.
Brazil almost got me.
Oh,
yeah.
they're beautiful.
They'll
Oh
get
no,
you.
Don't kid yourself. They're as pretty as any woman
Sounds
I've
to
ever
me
seen.
like you both were aware.
Well, we've had some issues.
Listen, man.
Next question,
I'm a
Adam.
married man.
Last question.
I'm a married man, and my wife listens to
Tell
this
us your
podcast.
favorite lady boy story.
Exactly.
All right, last one. There's an attractive girl at the gym that I want to talk to, but I'm not sure how to approach her in a gym setting. We both catch ourselves checking each other out. How should I go about this?
Bob,
you first. So he wants to talk to the girl at the gym. They always kind of flirt a little bit, just in passing.
become a celebrity like Bob.
That's a
It's a tough one.
well. You want to break the ice. You want to say something. I mean, whatever machine she's on. Ask her if she ever does Soul Cycle. I guess.
Make a joke.
That's
You
good.
know, make a joke. You know, boy, this elliptical sure is better than the old. I say stay
something.
away from
You
her.
ran out
Or
of joke.
You would just take your unit out,
Yeah.
or go. Are you
I'd
a
be
lady
like,
boy?
whoops.
What's this?
What's this?
Deadlift this.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'd say, do you know if there's any, I need a belt and some chalk because I'm going to move some heavy weight. Do you know if I can do that? And then she wouldn't get it. And then you'd go, I'm kidding, because I'm a big, powerful guy. Does that make sense?
How about this? How about you go? Do you like Raisinets? And my left ball's a lot bigger than my right.
There you go.
That might work.
There you
Yeah,
go.
maybe.
Don't you have a calamari joke about circumcision?
I did.
Yeah.
Did. Yeah, I've been circumcised 9 times. Enjoy the calamari.
There you go.
But I think you could. But in a case of a comedian, in the case of a person that could say, "Come see my show." If you have a television show you're going to do, if you got a show you're going to do somewhere, if you're going to be at a club, you could say make small talk. It's just you have to do it. You
Yeah.
and try to be friendly and try to be nice.
Just be
not,
normal.
Not be normal.
Just don't be a creep. Just
Don't
be
be a
normal.
creep.
Start a
Completely-
conversation, see where it goes.
and don't stare at her like
Yeah, don't have
you're-
an
like
agenda.
You got like some kind of like
Sometimes just
infrared sniper
Sometimes
gear.
just this. Watch this. Ready? Hey, how you doing?
That sounds so despicable to me.
All right. How about this? How about this? Hey. How you
No,
doing?
no, that sounds
No?
bad. That
I
sounds
like
like
that.
you're trying to get a
Wink at
6-year-old
him,
and you're
though.
Hold
drunk.
on. Okay, watch
Wink
this.
at
Watch this.
him.
Ready? Hide. I have it. I have it. Hide. Just have just your eyes behind the machine and go like this. Look at her and go, you.
I like that.
Oh, I
really
got
draw out the
I
who.
like that.
I got a good one.
Go ahead.
That's a great backpack.
That's really good. That's a great
That's
backpack.
assuming she's a sophomore.
If she's got a
Yeah.
big ass, go, man, if I had to cross the desert, you're exactly who I'd bring. And then she'd go, what do you mean? And you'd go, that's a lot of water you got stored in them humps.
Like
That's a good one.
Are you a camel?
Yeah,
After
that's-
that, you got some water in them humps.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like that.
That's a
Where
good
did
one.
that come from? Is that from something?
I don't think so. Is it?
Well, you guys,
Did Brian
you
just
should
make it
coin
up?
that. I see T-shirts.
Yep. Or
You'd be surprised.
Or this, or go like this, or just again hide behind the machine and go, I like to fuck. Just say that.
That's good, too.
And then wait and go, do you? So you draw some, there's some common
To
ground.
be honest, if the person's really asking, are they asking honestly?
Yeah, they really are.
I would say just say I've seen you here before, and you seem like this is going to be weird. I hope I'm not coming off weird, but would you want to get some coffee or something?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how
You
else
put
you
yourself
do it.
out there. Yeah. I wouldn't do it during the middle of her workout. And if she has headphones on, there couldn't be she has headphones
don't
on
do
for
that.
a reason.
And probably not add the word weird.
Yeah, probably wait till she's done working out. She's not there, doesn't need your advice. So wait, maybe I don't know, but try and just don't be creepy and just link up and be
Yeah.
normal.
Say this, go, do you like to laugh? And she'll go, yeah. And go, well, I have Bob Saget's new special on DVD at my house.
No, I got a better idea. Are you done working out? She goes, yeah. What are you doing on Saturday? She goes, I don't know. Well, I got tickets to Bob Saget in San Diego.
Oh,
Boom.
at the
Randy's
at the Balboa
dropping.
Theater.
We at the Balboa Theater. We could stay over in was it Gastown? Is that town?
That's
Gas
good,
lamp.
yeah.
Gas Lamp. I love that place.
Or if
too.
you're in
San
Ottawa,
Diego.
if you're in Ottawa, you could say, "Hey, do you want to go see Brian Callen at the Algonquin Theater?"
I'm going to one up both you
When
guys.
is that?
That's this Friday. Have you done that theater?
No, I actually last time I was in Ottawa. I hate to try to trump you, bad choice of words, but
all right.
I played this festival, this music festival, and I did an hour in front of 30,000 people.
Jesus.
Christ.
What was that
right?
like?
And it was fucking fantastic.
That sounds
It was the first time I played that many people. I've done it a couple times, but it was.
You've done some big venues.
But this was, and it was really fun. It was like very intimate, weird, and then Snoop went on after me. It was
Goddamn, Bob.
An
cool
hour.
Goddamn,
I
Bob.
did an hour, and it was unbelievably fucking fun. Ottawa's a great town.
God
so
damn
cool.
it, I love
Yeah,
it.
Speaking
so
of great towns, I'm going to one up both of you. For whatever reason, someone thought it was a smart idea to invite the Fire and the Kid to the New York Comedy Festival. So we are there, and the tickets just got announced. We are there November 3rd, one show, Gramercy Theater.
Oh, yeah.
New
Nice
York
theater, really
New York
nice
Comedy
theater.
Festival. We sold that bitch out last time, I think in 3 days.
Yes, we
So
did.
the tickets, I think, just went on sale today. tfatk.com has your tickets, or and wherever you get
Are
comedy.
you
Bring
both
us
going to
to
be
see-
there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic.
Oh, we
Yeah.
do this live
Yeah,
podcast.
we do live
have so much
comedy
fun.
shows.
It's a
Oh,
show.
that's fucking fun.
Yeah, we do a show.
I'm going to be there because I could talk about myself too.
Please do.
I do 2 scleroderma benefits with really cool people. We in New York. It's December 12th at Caroline's, and we did it last year. And we had Louis C.K. and I had
Dang.
Andy Cohen did the auction with me. And
I'm yours if you want me.
Jim,
Let me know.
I would love it.
No, he's in Florida on the 12th, so
No,
you're.
December.
Oh, is it December, or November?
December.
You're good.
In October, we're doing Vegas the 13th.
Well, I'd love to do October the 13th.
In Vegas?
Wait, is it October 13th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. The problem
We're
is
in
I'm going to be in
Oxnard.
Oxnard. At
that new club?
At Levity
Levity
Live, which
Live.
is a great club. We're doing.
I heard
live
it's a great
podcast.
club.
Yeah.
You're both doing it?
We're
Yes.
both there.
You're
yeah.
doing now. You do the podcast from there.
Dude, he's
We're
doing
doing comedy
stand up,
show.
Bob.
Yeah, I do
He's doing
stand-up.
stand
You've
up.
been doing stand up
And doing well.
Look at you, got it all.
Nah.
You got it all going. You that girl in the gym, you could throw down any card.
Oh yeah.
You'd be
Shab
surprised.
Shab gets a lot of women. I have to say.
You're single, I assume, right?
No,
I'm not.
No.
Oh,
And it's a
Well,
shame
this
because
is going to be difficult.
He's
then.
got an amazing woman, but women definitely look at Brennan like he's the way guys look at a
I
Ferrari.
mean, I'm looking at him like
Yeah.
that.
He's friends with John Stamos.
You're better looking than John.
No,
are.
get the fuck out.
Oh, no.
Uncle
Yeah, it's,
Jesse.
2 different looks, all both enticing to a man child.
You're better looking than John.
Man,
I mean,
no.
in a vacuum, you're better looking.
Nah,
6'4", 250.
This is
It's a
getting weird,
different
man.
type of
Take your shirt off,
guy.
brother.
I mean, it's a
It's
different.
getting weird. At Bob Saget, he's in San Diego this Saturday.
And then I'm
Baby.
somewhere.
Show us your
I'm-
tits.
Bob, we can't thank you enough for coming on.
Bobby
Thank you
Saget.
for having
Bob,
me.
you ruined everything.
I've been a fan
God
forever. I
damn
know
it.
everyone else here is a fan.
You
They're gonna love you.
talked.
You guys
At
are
Bob
awesome.
Saget, BobSaget.com is the website.
It
Right?
is. It is.
Boom. Go get him. Go get his tickets. He's in San Diego this weekend and wherever else he's going to
And
be.
you guys are in San Jose 922.
Nope. We sold that bitch out.
Sold
That's
that
old.
bitch out. Thank
Oxnard
you.
1013.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we're in
Brea
Brea, Palm Beach, Atlanta.
1026.
We're all
Palm
over.
Beach 1111 1112. Palm Beach, the Improv.
Yeah.
It's a good room.
Give us an
500,
intro.
600
Give us an
people.
intro. How would you introduce us if we were getting on stage?
Ladies and gentlemen, here come two men that love themselves almost as much as you do.
That's not bad.
There
The
you
Fighter
go.
and the Kid.
It's the
All
fire.
right, Bob,
of the
we can't
kid.
thank you enough, man.
Thank you for having me. This
At
was
Bob
a blast.
Saget, check
The
this
best
guy out.
anytime.
This is the Fire and the Kid with Bob. We're out.
With Bob. We're out.